Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to survive the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master Jason Phelps, and I am joined, as ever, by Robbie, Piggy in the Middle Bellekom, Sam, Little Miss Piggy Burns, and Ellie Bacon Sandwich Sparrow.
Oh no. My pig is the only dead one.
Oh no.
Now I'm picturing Sam
It's the
dressed
little
as Miss
piggy
Piggy.
which went to market.
Yes, you'd make a lovely Miss Piggy.
You would make an excellent Miss Piggy.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would watch the fuck out of that, to be honest.
Well, Miss Piggy, I'm pretty sure the person is still, I'm pretty sure Frank Oz is still alive.
Yeah, Frank Oz is still alive.
Miss Piggy also voice, does Miss Piggy also voice Kermit, or is that different? No, Kermit was classically, what's his face?
Jim Henson.
Yes, not John Carpenter, which is what my mind went
Miss
to.
Piggy does voice somebody really weird, though, as well as Miss
Fozzie.
Yoda.
Fozzie. Yeah, Yoda.
Yeah.
That's the one that I'm
Frank
thinking
Oz.
of. Yoda.
That's everything.
That's what I was thinking of. Which makes a lot of sense, because it is the same fucking tone if you listen to it. Yes. I hadn't really thought about that, but no, it is basically the same voice.
I love everything about the Muppets.
That's amazing.
Don't have nightmares, stowaways.
Have all the nightmares.
Of wise elders speaking, it has come that time for our minds to be cast forward to the future.
To somebody not wise and old speaking.
Of future Jason, we ask, from the present, what messages? From the present, these messages come. Future Jason, it is. Future Jason has been watching a lot of the Dark Crystal. Listen up for a spot from our friends over at The Dice Girls during the break this episode. We've been nominated for an Audioverse Award in the Improvised Production category. Thank you to everyone who nominated us, that's amazing. Nominations remain open until the end of September, so if anyone would like to, you can still nominate individual cast members in other categories, such as vocal composition in a production, player direction of a production, or player in an improvised production. It only takes 3 nominations to be added to the list of nominees, and you can nominate at audioverseawards.net/nominate. Link in the description. We'll let you know when voting opens, which should be in October. And that's it for announcements this time. Back to you, past Jason. I'm going to be very blunt here. I entirely forgot how to do the proper Yoda switch around. I used to know it. There's something to do with messing with the subject-verb-object rules.
Oh, no.
Assume you're literally translating German.
That doesn't help if you don't speak German.
But it's a fun way of thinking of it.
Yeah, I don't speak any German, so it makes no sense to me.
Well, it's to the shops I am going.
Yeah. So let's. I think we're all ready for a nice, relaxing shopping episode.
That never happened. I don't trust you.
We've had shopping episodes before.
He's been doing a lot of prep in the recent week, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? He's printing off pages of shit. Terrifying.
We do need to go shopping at some point, though, because I need more magic chalk.
Yeah.
Actually, that's a
I need more whiskey. I mean, we've drunk it all soon.
And
No!
relevant to that, I should really make sure I've looked up David Bowie's various coats.
No, I'll do it. Don't worry.
Thank you. All right. So, on the subject of David Bowie's coats.
Coats?
Relevant in this
We'll
podcast.
go with that.
Yeah, it'll do. Not David Bowie quotes. David Bowie coats. It's time for Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains, brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. The party has travelled to Vendéon at last, and meeting with the 3 different factions that make up the royalist side of the Civil War, they've managed to agree upon a treaty which should reunify the country. However, upon emerging from the palace, they were met by none other than Celestia's sister, Lady Quilena Rothenal. Engaged in a furious fight in which Celestia was very nearly kidnapped through the machinations of Scamp and Corzin, they were able to rescue Celestia and hid for a time in the cellar of the Merry Widow, waiting for the return of Geoffrey, who they had not forgotten about. They, after getting rid of the aforementioned Merry Widow for a minute, they then proceeded to teleport all the way to Kion, after which they had some quiet moments to go over what they had gone through. Nevertheless, after a tearful conversation between Celestia and Leah, they prepared to make their way north on a 4-day journey back to the city of Alicent. Leah promising to come with them as far as Alicent before then returning to Dulé to join up with her ship. Probably for the best, because she does have to actually pick up a coat from Fighty at some point, as does Celestia and Corzin. So, it is... Ooh, sneezes.
That was a fascinating noise you just made.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Wow.
Normally my sneezes are much more terrifying, and I was just trying to mute it a little bit.
It's like a half French word turned into a sneeze. It was fascinating.
Well, normally when I listeners, normally when I sneeze,
The house shakes.
The house shakes a little bit.
Books fall off the shelves.
I have a terrifyingly resonant sneeze, but I'm trying to keep it down. So,
Oh, that's
on
just
a
Sneeze
subject,
mic technique.
yeah, a subject aside from sneezes, however, you set out on the 17th of First Shoots. Assuming all goes well, you should arrive on the 21st. It will. You are travelling by magically summoned horse-like entities. Any particular preferences on your horses? On your 2 horses for this trip, Scamp?
shiny one.
How shiny do you want them?
Like, polished metal.
Ooh. So,
Pretty damn shiny.
any preference on colour, or should we go with silver and gold?
Blue.
Okay. A pair of shimmering silvery blue horses are conjured up from the chalk dust and stand eye-searingly reflecting the late morning sun.
I pull my sunglasses down. Well, good fucking morning, I guess. They're very pretty.
I wanted pretty horses. Last time you made me make sad horses.
Those are kind of eye-searing.
Well, if we run into anyone, we can be assured that they'll be blinded and won't be able to identify us.
I suppose
See, I'm thinking ahead.
it's one way of resolving the problem.
I mean, if Quilena starts hiring people to look for me, we might have to calm down the horses, but for now, fuck it, they're very nice.
I don't want any more sad horses.
Yeah, quite right.
Understandable. And we did promise you interesting ones, so these will do just fine, I'm sure.
Yay!
Alright. Are there any other preparations you wish to do in Kion? Or are you ready to set
I'd like
off?
to send to Leah's ship
Okay.
so that's done. I don't think we
You don't need to go through the
it
full thing.
particularly,
Do you I'm assuming you essentially inform
but
Briggs that Leah will be meeting them in delay in 5 days?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I buy some bombs?
You can, actually, yes. Since you are, functionally speaking, a bit of a celebrity around here, Philippe's quartermistress is all too willing to sell you some bombs at basically cost. They are the princely sum of 5 silver pieces each, and
All right.
she can spare you up to 13.
Okay, not going to be greedy. I'll take 6 for now.
Okay. You pay
So that's 30 gold pieces.
3 gold pieces.
Oh, 3 gold pieces.
It's
sorry.
30 silver pieces.
30, yeah, that was what. Yeah,
Yeah.
I misspoke.
So she happily takes the cost of replacing them and provides you with 6 new bombs.
Excellent.
Gunpowder weaponry is cheap.
Yeah.
It's terrifyingly cheap compared to magic. Anyway, but hey, you guys are working with an adventurer economy at this point.
Fair.
True.
Yeah. So, if you've no other preparations to make that you can within Kion, you begin setting out on your way. Do any of you wish to do anything on the 4 days of travel?
Yes. On the first night, just before we're starting to discuss who's going to take watches and all that stuff, I'd like to quietly, already a little bit drunk, but not much, I've just had a couple, so I'd like to Corzin.
Yes.
I believe I owe you a dream.
Ah, right, yes.
If you'd still like one.
Absolutely. Do you think, though, we should send ahead to Molly to, pre-warn her that this is happening?
You know what, it might be terrifying if we don't mind.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that. I
Just overhearing, yeah.
gather my spirits together.
I mean, it's a pretty terrifying concept to get your head around even when you are prepared, but hopefully this isn't
Molly!
going to... What?
Corzin will be in your dream. It's a magic thing I do now. Be good. Watch out for the fingerwoods. Love you, bye.
There's a short pause before the return. You can put my husband in my dreams? Great. What the fuck are fingerwoods? That sounds horrifying. Can you only put him in nightmares?
Oh.
Oh no. Not planning on nightmare, but dream is very, very, very big. Should be nice, hopefully. Have fun. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Bye-bye.
Oh dear. That doesn't limit
I
them
drink
much.
some more whiskey.
A few moments later, the Pride Spirit and the rest of the spirits return and somehow manage to convey a stony silence.
Should you maybe have checked when she was going to bed?
Probably. That would have been
What if she's
sensible.
working all night?
When's the latest? I feel like she would have said, wouldn't she?
Corzin, you know that Molly has come back at 2 a.m. before from a shift.
Alright,
So maybe if you take the first watch, because then you'll be awake,
yeah.
and then when you go to sleep, I'll do a bit of, I'd make like magic-y finger motions.
Fair. I think that's probably for the best.
Great.
Okay.
There's so much I want to tell her, but I am not even sure where to begin.
Yeah, I get that. It's gonna be a difficult one. But I think she'll be glad to see you.
I have no doubt. I'll be so glad to see her.
You deserve it.
Corzin sort of visibly sags a little bit and looks rather sheepish.
No.
What? Why are you looking like that? What's the face for?
This is more than I'd ever dared hope.
Stop being so cute, I'm gonna throw up.
I'll try and contain myself. And he straightens up a little bit again, adjusts his tricorn a little bit. It's completely an act. You don't even need to roll insight.
No.
I playfully nudge him on the shoulder.
He grins in spite of himself.
No.
Have fun.
Thank you.
Well, if you're taking the first watch, I'm gonna try and sleep.
Yeah.
I
Sleep
drink
well.
a lot more. And these few days that we're travelling, like there's never silence around the campfire. I'm always tinkering away on one instrument or another, or drinking or doing something.
That's fair.
Like just filling silences.
Okay. You set up your watch, and Corzin, after your, to say good time, I'm going to say your first watch near, you're still quite near Kion. You don't really notice anything, and eventually, when at the end of your watch, you go to wake up Celestia.
Hello, is it time already?
It would seem so.
Okay, hang on. Get up. Alright. Get comfortable, you need to go to sleep.
Alright. He lies down flat on a bedroll.
Never done this to somebody else. Just sort of did it by accident last time. I get a pinch of sand from the floor. Sort of rub it between my hands. And then get like a little dot of gnomish brandy and hold them out to the rainbow spirit. Yeah, go on. You're going to send Corzin in this time, okay?
The rainbow spirit sort of wafts around the dust of the sand and sort of picks it up, and then wafts just straight into Corzin. Corzin, there's a moment where you get sand in your eyes. And then you feel really, really... Corzin goes out cold.
I'm asleep.
You want to think of Molly, as I do when he's already asleep. Molly!
Corzin, you sleep. You open, you can feel... You feel tired. Really tired. And it's like your limbs are heavy. Like they'll barely move. You can't move them. You have to... you try and... It's like moving through molasses. No, it is like moving through molasses. You flicker your eyes open, and you can't see anything, but you can feel some sort of thick opaque liquid all around you. It's like, and as you open your mouth, it starts to try and force its way down your throat. What do you do?
Do I even know which way is up?
You can. Yeah, your proprioception is still working, so you can tell where up is.
Okay, I'm going to try and swim for where I think up is and break the surface. And I'm going to try my very best to exhale anything that's trying to go into my mouth.
Yeah, give me an athletics check.
Okay. That is a... Oh, jeez, that's a 24.
Yeah, you force your way up through, and this stuff is like molasses. It's absolute bastard to dig your way through. But you manage to finally break the surface. And you sort of cough and sputter. And now that there is light, you can see you're in something which is a deep crimson. You're in a pool of what it looks like blood, but it's more the consistency of very thick treacle. And as you look around, you are in some sort of dark wood where the soil is black and there are trees made of stone all around you. You drag yourself to the edge and pull yourself out. Your clothes are kind of just soaked with blood now, or at least blood-like substance.
Now that I'm out, I'm going to back away from it, and I'm going to examine this this substance I was subsumed in.
Okay, you kneel down. Just visual examination?
If the visual examination doesn't really tell me anything, I'm going to tentatively taste the tiniest amount.
Okay, you can see where the gap where you were is slowly filling up. But you kind of take a little bit on the tip of your finger and put it into your tongue. It tastes sweet. Really sweet. And strangely like the experience of running through summer fields.
That's weird.
You look up. There is a black sky above with no stars.
As in night, or is it dark clouds?
Just black sky. No clouds, no stars.
Alright, I'm gonna turn around. Do I see anyone else there?
Let's find out.
Yeah.
Give me a perception check.
Okay. That is a 19.
Yes. You notice a few things. First of all, the wood seems to continue on and on and on. But you can see two other things. In one tree, there is set what appears to be a brightly painted yellow wooden door. Beneath the roots of another tree, a little bit further away, there is you can see there is a hole in the roots which seems to go down into a tunnel. And behind a third tree, you can see something begins to step out. A long grey leg. A long arm with 7 fingers. And it just begins to step out. And you don't know why, but you get this voice. It's not a voice, it's an intention in your mind. Don't look. Don't look. If you look, you will die.
Okay, Corzin is going to avert his eyes.
Okay, you look away.
Like, he's going to, like, keep it in his periphery, but he's not going to be looking directly at it.
You're not looking at it, but you know that it's coming out. You can't see it. Just on the edge of your vision, you know it's coming out from behind the trees. And it's coming closer. And you shouldn't look. At this point, I'd like you, however, with that 19, you can feel the sort of warmth in your chest. And you look down, you can see there's just a little flicker of rainbow light there. And it crackles along your chest to one of your hands. And the spirit lent to you is almost waiting for something from you.
I just say, I would quite like to see my wife now, please, if it's all the same to you.
Oh,
the rainbow spirit flares out of your fingers for a moment and begins pointing, just like a windsock almost, or a rainbow or a rainbow scarf in the direction of the hole beneath the tree.
Oh, I need a rainbow scarf.
All right. Does it look like it's supposed to be pointing me in that direction?
It definitely looks like it's pointing towards the tree, that hole.
Okay, I start moving steadily but with purpose towards that direction. Not for a second taking my proprioception away from whatever this monstrosity is behind me.
You can't see it. You can't see it, but you know it's close. You know it's so close. You can know that it's reaching out. Those long fingers. It's close enough to touch you. It could touch you, but don't look back.
Alright, Corzin is going to keep walking, and just casual as you like, reach down as if to just scratch his heel. Something was bothering her. Whip out his sax and just flail wildly behind him without looking.
Make an attack roll with disadvantage.
Yeah. Okay, that would be an 18.
Okay. You feel something for a moment, but it's it's soft, it's like passing through water. And when the sax comes back, it's coated in a brilliant bluish liquid. You can feel cold, wet breath on your neck. You're almost at the hole.
Alright, Corzin is going to take a deep breath and he's going to say, "You picked the wrong person to sneak up on, mate. Turn around and leave."
Make an intimidation check.
Okay. Natural one, but lucky. Okay, that's an 11.
Something brushes against your back and you feel coldness pass into you and stay. It doesn't leave, but there's a coldness in you now.
Alright, Corzin is going to... he's going to keep going, but he is going to attempt to, like, if we're working on dream logic here, he's going to try and shake his physical form free of this thing.
Okay. You try and shake it free. Give me a wisdom save.
Okay.
As you make your way down into the hole.
That's a 5.
The coldness stays with you, but as you clamber down into the hole, you feel it leave, and you just keep focus going down and down and down until there's no way it could be behind you.
Alright. I'm going to continue as far as the tunnel goes.
Okay. You have acquired what we're going to call a boon.
Okay.
From the unseen stalker.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Just mark that down.
Why can't you just let him have a date with his wife?
He just wants to have a nice fucking time with Molly.
Sorry, I rolled for where you turned up, and you turned up in the Terror Woods.
You're the worst person in the world.
Unseen.
Why couldn't it have been the happy cushion place?
There is a happy cushion place. You didn't end up there.
Why Terror Woods?
I hate that you made a place called the Terror Woods. It's legitimately horrifying.
As you clamber down, you find yourself in...
Do you have any idea what this is?
Nope.
Okay.
There's simply a boon.
Okay. Alright.
Now you know how the tally marks fucking feel.
At any time, when you wake, this coldness will remain with you. At any time in the future, you may choose to use the boon. You do not know what form it will take. You do not know whether it will hurt an enemy, aid a friend, or assist you.
Oh, God.
Risk reward.
Welcome to Wild Magic.
Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, we've all had a weird thing that we don't understand the consequences of now. How exciting.
I think that's kind
This
of
is only going to bring us closer together, I'm sure.
You clamber down away from the Terror Woods, and you find yourself in a quiet underground series of tunnels. They're strangely familiar. You've been here before. You look around, and there's the same wooden supports, and walking towards the end, you can see up ahead a communal dining area where a bunch of ghostly-looking, half-visible miners, many of them dwarves, are sat around a table, drinking and eating. And there is a fat dwarf in dirty miner's clothes with an axe, sat at the head of the table with a twisted, matted black beard. Old Coalbeard is holding court.
Oh, okay. I'm not going to stop, but for the amount of time it takes me to pass through here, I'm going to observe what's happening.
Every now and again, Old Coalbeard is just sort of chatting and laughing and making lewd jokes for the most part, and generally making people sort of uncomfortable.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow.
It's like, oh, that's some nice muscle. Some nice muscles you got on you there. Very nice. Kisses one of his own arms. But nothing compared to mine.
He's not even flirting, he's just putting people down.
Yeah. It's like, you want it? Hey. If your husband wants to know what a real man's like in the sack, tell him to come to me in his next dream. Then another one. And then sometimes he just gets lazy. You're fat.
Oh, no.
Oh,
he's
just cruel.
He's
just
the worst.
cruel.
I hate him.
Another one. You need more meat on your bones.
Oh,
he's mean.
Yeah, he's literally a fucking nightmare spirit.
Mean.
He's
there's no need to be mean.
He's like every body shaming thing ever.
Yep. You don't comb your beard enough. To another one. Look at you, primming and pampering your beard. You think combing it and styling it all the time's gonna make up for how miserable you are as a person? Colbeard is a bit busy, and fortunately does not notice you.
For which we can be only grateful, I'm sure.
And you slip on past, following the rainbow spirit, and through what appears to be a door mounted into a marble archway. As you open the door and step inside, you find yourself in a hallway filled with paintings of various people, just posed in various positions.
Do I recognise any of them?
Roll me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save, okay.
God.
We've been here, haven't we?
I've been here.
Well,
That was it.
Yeah.
that's a 5 again.
They all seem strangely familiar, like scenes you can't quite place. You look for one. Sitting on a dock. There are 2 figures, just painted so they're hidden in shadow. Feet in the water with fishing rods.
That's enough. I know who that is.
Then another. Figures you can't quite make out, drinking in a tavern. Small children gathered around an old halfling whittling, but all the faces are blurred. You put on a pace until eventually you see a figure stood in front of one of the paintings. This one in focus for you. You can see is the smiling, cheerful form of Corzin Jr. and the ghostly-looking form of Molly. And as you approach, everything else goes out of focus.
Yeah, it does.
And now you're not in the hallway. Now you're in a room you don't recognise. It's a halfling house. So it's got a lot of chairs in it. Big old fire. Lots of comfort. It's meant to hold a lot of people. And the big painting is now much smaller. It's just over the fireplace. And Molly is now sat in a chair, rocking gently. And she has next to her on a table a disassembled carbine, which she's busy cleaning. And she looks up and she's whole now. She's fully real. And as you step in, the rainbow spirit flickers over you for a moment before she turns around. The blood cleans off your clothing.
Oh, good.
And you have a weird sense that while you're in this place, in this bubble of dream, you can shape it. Within this place, you have an unusual amount of control. But as you step in, and it's like you've stepped in just through a doorway, Molly tilts her head and looks up. Corzin?
Molly.
Corzin! She
It's me. I'm
steps
here.
up, runs over towards you and wraps you in a tight embrace. Oh, by the region, I didn't actually... She wasn't shitting me.
No, she wasn't.
Oh,
I have missed you so much.
missed you. I've missed you too, Corzin. Oh, and she just plants a deep kiss on your face and then several more on your cheeks and nose.
Yeah. Corzin returns them and says, "This is... Well, I'll tell you one thing, this beats sending, doesn't it?"
Oh. Gotta say, if I'd known she could do this, it's a weird spirit magic, right?
Yeah, it's pretty new as far as I can tell. This is not something she's been able to do for very long.
No. How are you doing? It's the messages you've been sending through have been frankly terrifying and obviously limited.
Well, look at me. I'm still in one piece, and I'm not going to lie to you, Molly. There have been some really, really tough days, and there have not been any days where I haven't thoroughly missed you and little Corzin, and
there's
wished I was back
not
with
been
you.
a day gone by that we've not missed you.
But now, face to face, for want of a better way of putting it, I can assure you we're as close as we've ever been, and I'm going to be back with you as soon as I possibly can.
You better.
You know, I've been looking forward to this for Regent knows how long. But just tell me everything. What's been going on at home? How is little Corzin? What have you been doing with yourself? I hope that at least the money I left you has kept you comfortable.
Oh yes, I mean, most of it's sitting by until it's needed. Although, of course, that's all towards the ship. But
Merrick hasn't been sticking his nose in, has he?
He's been keeping a respectful distance.
Good.
And you've nothing to fear.
No, I knew I had nothing to fear from you, Molly. Never. But
it's fine. I've been working at the bar because yes, we have the money, but that's actually for other things and getting the ship together. I did spend some of it on redoing up the old carbine, getting some extra ammunition, and getting back into practice.
Good. I've been meaning to give little Corzin a little bit more, a little instruction.
Sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
She narrows her eyes.
I'm going to roll a deception check.
Roll a deception
Yes.
check.
Oh, it's good. It's a 6.
Corzin
I never could lie to
Horhace,
you.
which of the two of us was a military sniper?
That would be you, dear.
Fine. Well, I guess I'm going to have to start teaching our son how to use a carbine properly and undo any habits you might have taught him.
It was... To be fair, he's a natural.
Oh, so you've done it that much, have you?
Well, perhaps
She's...
He
barely
insisted
holding it
on me teaching him, and so I said, right, well, if we're going to do this, we'd better do it properly. And, well, he was ambitious like his dad, and I tried to start him out with one of the pistols, and he went straight for the blunderbuss.
You let him touch the blunderbuss?
Not intentionally. But he was fine. He was absolutely fine. Regent knows how, but he was absolutely fine. He hit the thing, and we went for ice cream afterwards.
Well, why not treat them to a beer while you're at it?
Well, on that note, actually, I was chatting to one of my former crewmates, and he says he's got this really, really nice specialist cider. Absolutely fine for the kids. Not alcoholic at all.
What? I mean,
Yeah.
great.
It's, Apple Blossom's best.
Know where I can get some of that stuff from?
Well, I've got a little of it squared away from when I'm actually back in person, but he did give me the details of the place where they make it. It's a place called Natterson's Reserve. Oh, and that's another thing. Somebody I knew from back in Barnacle Point, Norrit, he may still be alive.
The one who claimed he was 200 years old.
Yes! Seemingly got out from there at least. I thought it'd been washed away or eaten or Regent knows what with the rest of them, but it turns out he may well have got out.
I mean, if even a tenth of the stories you've told me about him are actually true, who wouldn't? But I wouldn't even believe a tenth of those stories are true.
No, they're quite the tales, but if there's even a grain of truth to them...
She shakes her head. Anyway... yeah, Corzin's doing fine. We've been... I actually used some of the money to, pay for a tutor to come and do some more of the lessons. He's really getting interested in, in ships, actually.
I'm sure. Oh, I wish I could be there to speak to him about it. Has he grown much?
Oh, quarter of an inch.
I'm going to do my best, otherwise by the time I get back there, he's going to have passed me by.
You better be back sooner than that.
Oh, there is not a herd of wild Sahuagin that could stop me.
Well, I'll be waiting for that ship you promised me.
Yeah, we're on our way back to Alisant now.
I mean,
We've got some business there, but then...
if you can do this...
Yeah?
Why don't you see him tomorrow night?
If I can? Yes, I don't know how extensive this ability of Celestia's is, but I would love that.
Well,
Just forewarn him.
I'll tell him to keep an eye out, and maybe I'll come to him in his dreams.
Tell him to get to bed on time.
Oh, if I tell him that, maybe he actually will. Next to stay.
Come here. And he just envelops her again.
She envelops you and then sort of steps back for a moment, puts her hands on your shoulders. So I'm pretty sure this is the old family house. And I'm not seeing any of the family around. And I don't know about you, but I've always wanted to know what my parents' bed was like.
Corzin grins.
She takes you by the hand and drags you up a corridor.
He follows.
And the dream
exceedingly fast.
Hands to the fireplace.
Yes.
The dining table just shakes a little bit.
There is a creak.
Sometime later, you pass from the dream into true sleep. And eventually the morning comes. You all Leah, who took the last watch, kind of wakes you all up with breakfast.
Have a good night, Corzin.
Oh. Yes, thank you. I honestly don't know how I'm ever going to be able to repay you, but...
Oh, fuck that, darling. I nearly got you killed the other day.
Well...
Seems only fair.
Molly had a request, and it's one that I would like to echo.
Go on.
If this is a thing that it is possible for you to do, then at some point in the next day or so, would it be possible to do this for little Corzin?
Yeah, provided nobody dies tomorrow. If any of you die tomorrow, I'll kill you. But provided nobody dies tomorrow, yes.
Well, I'll do my very best not to.
That could be interpreted as either a threat or a statement of fact.
You know what I mean.
I'm just going to go with yes at this point.
Basically, it's I can do it. I can do it every day, much as you want.
Thank you.
It's all right. Can't think of a better way to use it. As long as I haven't, brought anyone back from the dead that day, I should still have enough power.
All right. There were so many things I wanted to say to her, and so many things I did, but Just quickly, did Quilena get either of our names?
Depends when she scried.
Alright.
I didn't
And
know
who she
her.
talked to.
Yeah.
At best, she's only got a first name to go by, but,
Well...
At
we
worst,
might
she might have all of it.
alright.
Yeah, we gave our full names to the... Well, I didn't. No one ever asked for my surname.
But I mean, you gave your full name. And the thing is, we know she was scrying on us in the wine cellar. I called you Corzin. During that
Like I
conversation.
say, she has a first name. Maybe. But-
Well, she can talk to people in the palace.
I
and
think
they know.
it's best we assume she has both, darling. I'm sorry.
Alright then. I was thinking possibly I should have mentioned something to Philippe before we left, but honestly there's really not much that he could do about it.
Sure, he's just heard most of it by now.
He's just got to be as on his guard as anyone else is for the wraith.
Might be worth looking in on her, actually. Today.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Should I do that now, before we start?
Can do. I don't suppose it would hurt.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's do it. And I get the eye out, and I go, show me my horrible little cunt of a sister, and I spin it.
You spin the eye and begin and delve down. Your DC is 16, right?
17.
17?
These days, actually. It's gone up.
Let me
Yeah,
just check.
17.
Because that's on the border from memory. Okay. You plunge down and you look around and you find one of the bubbles calls to you. The bubble comes forward and a scene begins to come into focus within. You find yourself somewhere dark, lit by candlelight. You're inside, most likely. There are no windows in this chamber. And there are candles lighting the room. It seems the walls are painted with frescoes, with imagery of saints and divine figures. But in the center of the room, there is a slab. And on that slab, you can see the naked form of a male elf. Their guts, their stomach cut open, guts put, although it seems that it has been stitched closed with
a drow, yeah.
gloves. It is indeed a male drow. You recognise this drow. You've seen him in an image before, suspended from a lamppost.
Ah.
There are a number of figures in the chamber. One of them is Quilena in her slightly different cut of dress, but still the same blacks and reds that she usually favours.
I hold up 2 middle fingers and just wave them around in her face a bit.
Incognizant of your presence.
Hey, fucker, I can see you.
But she is staring. She does have her hands clasped behind her back and is staring fixedly at the body. And you can see very quickly why. There are a number of the Ebon Guard in the room. And there is also a halfling priest dressed in ceremonial robes. And placed upon the center of the chest of the body, there is a small black iron dish in which vibrant multicoloured flames are burning. And every now and again, flickers of these flames will pass out of the dish and into the body. The body will shake, and you can see how the body is already beginning to twist and flicker in places. Parts of flesh are slowly starting to regrow. It looks like you're quite some way into this, and the priest is muttering in what seems to be not a repeated intonation, although there are parts that repeat, in a language you do not know. They chant. Sometimes they will pick up a censer and they will put a piece of they will tip a piece of the vibrant multicolored flames into it, swing it over the body, and sort of almost like flickering multicolored embers will emerge. And you can see behind them there is a figure, barely visible, almost seen as an outline of glimmering golden light shot through with sparks of red. Humanoid, what looks almost like a tall human figure with the outlines of armour. You look up, you can see there is a depiction of this figure, not as an outline, but clearly depicted, fully fleshed, is some sort of dark-skinned, blonde-haired human wearing armour from maybe 600-700 years ago.
Can I try and discern who in the room can see this?
Can see the spirit.
Yeah. I want to discern if it is a spirit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because if only the priest is looking at it, it's pretty obvious.
Apart from the priest, they're actually standing behind the priest, and for a lot of the time, apart from the priest, no one else seems to acknowledge this. So, yeah, the glimmering figure is just not really seen by anyone else. And they seem to be just standing overseeing. And this continues for much of the next 10 minutes. But at the climax, when almost all the flames have flickered out, and the last of them leave the little black dish, the figure reaches behind and draws to your eyes a brilliantly gleaming sword. Kind of like a double-handed affair, like a proper sort of broadsword, and raises it above the body, and the flames suddenly rush up out of the corpse, which arches its back, and spin around the sword, and for a moment the sword becomes visible through the outline of flames to all, and the spirit drives it down into the body, and the flames spread through it, and the body suddenly arcs up again. still horribly wounded, horribly, grievously injured. The drow opens his eyes. The priest staggers for a moment as the image, as the glowing outline fades. Something clearly taken out of them. And the glow seems to flicker down into what seems to be just almost like a golden gecko, much more visible to you, which climbs up the priest's arm. And Quilena reaches down and with a sort of, it's not kindness, but with an authority, touches the male drow on the arm and says in Elven, "Welcome back. We look after our own."
Oh, fuck off, says Celestia.
The drow... I saw it. Did you? He nods. And could you have crossed on your own? His head shakes steadily for a moment. Then don't worry. Next time, when you return to that abyss, I will lead the way. Yes, my lady. Escort him out somewhere he can rest. She looks pitilessly at the priest, who is drinking from a glass of water. Then bring in the next one. I want a full company restored. And it's about this time that the walls of the image close in, the bubble collapses, and you find yourself pulled back up to the surface.
I don't suppose there are any clues in the room of where I am, where I was, just dark.
A temple, maybe? You could try and make a religion check.
Yeah, I'd like to, actually, if that's alright.
Yes.
9.
It is a temple dedicated to a saint of the Regency.
Ein Temple.
A male saint of some, like a male-coded saint of some sort of martial aspect.
Cool. Well, that's the first time I've ever seen anyone raise somebody from the dead.
Oh.
What?
They were doing it with all the Ebon Guard that got killed by the Baron.
Well, that seems like a lot of effort.
Not the Baron.
Yeah.
What's his name? The Mason. There we go.
The Mason.
Different word.
Yeah.
No,
Well.
the Ebon Guard are expensive. She was all, oh, we
so
care
is
for
that.
our own. We care for each other. She's never cared about anything in her fucking life. They're just expensive.
That's the point, though. I guess, Celestia, how many do you think it's reasonable to assume they would have above ground?
I don't fucking know. Hang on, out of character for a second, I'm just clarifying, because I think I know how many there are in a year, but I just want to check. In 1 year of training, there are 500, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, I don't fucking know, darling. In 1 year, you get 500 Ebon Guards coming out of the end of it, or thereabouts. They train them every year. A class comes out every year. Creepy, horrible army school. They get employed by various people on the surface. Like fucking thousands. Their contracts are 100 years.
Alright, so...
Lots. Not all of them loyal to Quilena, don't get me wrong, but...
That's more what I was thinking. Like, I get that it's...
I mean,
it's an army and that there are hundreds of them.
Did she say anything about how many are with her?
No. I'd assume. I mean, there's that whole company that were working for the king that she seems to be working with.
How many in a company?
Jason.
500.
500 full group.
Right, so we have to assume that at the very least there's 500 at her immediate disposal, possibly split between her and Adrin, maybe?
Maybe. And also we've got to assume that the others would have some sort of loyalty to the family. Drow look after their own and all that bullshit.
But they're not necessarily with them.
No, not at all. Seems to be really creepy loyalty with this lot, though. She was saying she was going to guide him across the abyss.
Huh.
Across the abyss?
Oh, is that not a thing? That's a drow thing. Sorry. Spider
what
gods.
does that mean?
When you die, sort of what's supposed to happen is there's an abyss, and only the strongest can cross it. Or, if you're not strong enough, you can get other people to help you cross it who are stronger than you are. So yeah, he woke up and said he'd seen the abyss, and she said, were you strong enough to cross it? He said no, and she said, well, next time I'll help you, Quilena. So it's got properly creepy, apparently.
Oh.
What
Yeah.
well...
Abyss full of spiders and webs and shit.
Alright.
God, oh goodness, I wish I'd been a priest. Cheerful stuff, this, isn't it?
Well, the fact that she's going to the effort to raise them suggests that they're an exceedingly valuable commodity to her.
They're really expensive.
As little as she cares for them personally, and I fully grant that must be the case, if she's going through the trouble of raising them rather than just sequestering more, which might take longer but ultimately would be cheaper for her, wouldn't it? Then it sort of suggests that she must have a fairly limited amount at her immediate disposal.
I mean,
maybe it's just the one company.
Yeah.
Which is still loads.
so many.
But
also, A, Ebengard are expensive as fuck, as mentioned, and B, there's a sort of drow pride thing. There aren't that many of us.
Oh, like,
So-
we're the superior race, we're all better than everyone else.
Yeah,
blah, blah, blah.
I mean, a bit
Right.
of that, but also there aren't that many of us, and we live for ages, so just sort of needlessly getting people killed is a bit frowned upon.
I see. Wasteful.
Yeah, it's
raising
seen as
people's
wasteful.
expensive.
Yeah, true. But also, training people for 7 years so that they're that good is more expensive. I don't know. Or maybe she's just worried my mother will find out she got some of them killed.
Have her killed.
No, she's worried maybe that my mother will find out that she got some of the Ebengard killed.
Ah.
Oh.
There might be that. I'd be worried if I was her. She won't be pleased when she finds out all this shit. I'd imagine Quilena wants to solve as much of it as possible before she spins it.
Well, it would seem to me that from what she was like and from what you've said, that she's going to try and, as she sees it, solve this problem as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah.
So let's do everything we can to make sure it takes a very long time and is impossible.
Yeah.
Because the longer she takes, the more likely it is that your mother is going to find out how badly she fucked up. Which is more problems for her and possibly your brother into the bargain.
Plus, we already know that when she's angry, she does dumb stuff.
Indeed.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have a whip in a box.
Yeah. Always has been like that.
So, the longer we get her annoyed and keep away from her, the dumber she's going to get.
What can we do with that whip, actually?
Keep it in a fucking box for now. But I have a bad idea that I should probably run past both of you.
Go on.
Imagining, Leah's around somewhere, but,
Yeah.
up to you. Should probably run past you all. So...
Leah's making breakfast.
Scrimshaw is in Alicant. And what we need, really, is to get this whip to the temple where the priestess that she fucked and murdered was, and make sure somebody does a discern objects pass spell on it. That's what we really need.
Well, can't you do that with the eye?
I can do it, but who the fuck's going to believe me?
Fair enough.
Like, I'll see it, but... I mean, it might be worth having a look, see if there's anything useful, but the thing
Might be before we hand it over to anyone.
Yeah, but the thing is, what we really need is somebody down there to do it who the priestess will trust. That would be Savrina, wouldn't it, Jason?
Yes.
Yeah.
Savrina would be one of the options. There are a couple of lesser priestesses beneath Savrina.
What we really need is to get it to Savrina. She's the head priestess.
I see.
So we need to get it to her and have somebody around her do a spell on it, or have her do it.
Okay.
So that there'd be no question. I can't think of a way to do that other than getting in touch with Scrimshaw right now. I know it's not urgent, but it might be worth asking her the price.
Would you be able to send to Savrina?
No. No.
All right.
Sorry. She's the person who is doing my training, so no.
All right.
Really can't be me.
Oh.
Are you okay? You keep sneezing.
It's got cold and I got wet and then now I'm sneezing.
Are you wet? You just need to tell me when you're fucking soaking wet. I can do something about it. I do prestidigitation loads of times.
There was rain during the previous night.
The floor is cold.
I can warm you up. It makes warm. I just click my fingers irritatedly and just send warm air at them. I know, but afterwards I can help you out, darling.
Ah.
Anyone else cold while we're at it? Anyone?
Not especially.
Leah's stirring the pot. I'm next to the fire, I'm fine.
But yeah, it needs to be somebody other than me who sends it to Savrina.
Alright.
I mean, I could send to her, but I don't know what the fuck I'd say.
Well, how... What's going to be the more pressing piece of information to her? The fact that you are alive and at large somewhere, or
she knows that.
All right. Well, then, she definitely seems to be like the sort of person who would have a vested interest in knowing that Corlener is guilty of murder.
Could you say that's why you left? Because you'd found out about her crime but couldn't prove it. And was scared she'd kill you.
It's not actually a bad play.
You're fucking clever as shit, do you know that?
Nope.
Yes.
You'll have to tell me every day.
I mean, that...
I will gladly tell you how smart you are.
But that's not a terrible play. It depends how much Savrina knows. Because if my mother knows about me and Leah, she might, but also, even if my mother does know, she might not have told Savrina, because Savrina was always somebody to impress, and, you know, being in love with a slave wasn't what was considered impressive. So, yeah, difficult one. Also, there's no point sending to her unless there's already evidence, is the thing. Right. She's not going to just believe me.
No, but we could say we're sending this thing. So we know that actually something will happen with it when it gets there. Yeah. Rather than just her handing it back to Corlener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How far away are we from the nearest entrance to the Underdark? Not suggesting we go there, but just so we know. If we're close-ish to one, then maybe there will be someone going in that direction.
And also maybe we shouldn't be.
Jason, help me. I have no fucking idea.
I'm sorry, I'm bombarding you with a load of questions
fine.
that Celestia
You
would
may
know,
not
but maybe you
necessarily know
don't.
this, so Celestia, I need you to roll me a history check.
History check. Oh god, 9 is my favourite number today.
The estates on this side of the continent, you've not really visited. You have a vague sense that the city of Utu is somewhere north-ish of Seoul, like itself. And your own estates were not too far ultimately from Solden's Dale, because that's the exit you came out at, which is off in Wending. The Underdark is large. But you don't actually know where the entrances are on this side. You know how to get there if you went to Wending.
I know one in Wending.
Right.
I know one not that far from Scarrel's Cove. I didn't really spend a lot of time over this way in the Underdark.
Alright, just trying to think.
I mean, it'd need to be somebody trusted.
Trusted by the powers that be down there.
No, I mean, the person who took it to Savrina would have to be somebody trusted.
Oh, I
if
see.
it got to Savrina, and she did a spell on it, that would be different. Also, though...
Well, I don't know about the rest of you...
Also, Savrina's quite in with the family. Would she do it? I think she would. I think if Quilena had killed a priestess, that would be enough.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but I do not trust Scrimshaw as far as I could throw her.
No, but
will
her
stick to
word
a
is her
pact.
word. That's the thing. She's very big on, if you make a bargain with her, she will carry it out.
And we do have information that she maybe would like a promise we'll never tell.
Yes, we do. Oh, you're so clever this morning.
Alright.
I wish
So-
I
Oh,
had...
chocolate, it's good for your
I'm
brain.
going to buy you fucking ice cream when we're in the city. You're on it today.
Ice cream is good.
Yes,
So
we
you're
haven't had ice
suggesting
cream
that
too
we
long.
go to Scrimshaw and we say to her...
And we say, hello, Arga. You owe us a favour.
We have information that we know you don't want to get out, and in return for never revealing that to anyone, you do us a favor.
Yeah. I think...
That's...
Also, we have the information that Olga's dead. That she
Oh,
may or may
fuck,
not
yeah.
know.
No,
Like,
she might want
know.
that.
She might know, but
She might not.
she might not.
Depends how much she really cares about Olga.
I mean, they weren't close.
She
Come on.
hates her.
Yeah.
I think she might hate her enough to keep track. So
Possibly.
Also, the dogs. You know, they... I'm wondering if hers might be one of the same pack, or... I don't
I
know,
got
they
the
feel
im-
connected, don't they?
yeah, surely.
They must be.
I
I mean,
got-
who has, coincidentally, another invisible dog? That feels weird.
Well, maybe when they did Old Mother Finger Snapping, they sort of divided the spoils.
But I think if we get Scrimshaw to agree to that, I think the best thing to do might be to send to Savrina first. And ask, I mean, frankly, check that she would do it
Yeah.
Yeah.
before
Because
we
if
definitely send it.
she's-
Because if it gets out of our hands and she's not going to do anything with it, I'm not sending it. We'll wait. We'll find another way.
You're right.
Mm.
You're right. If it turns out that this Savrina person is not going to be helpful to us, then it makes more sense for us to keep hold of it.
I think she'd be bothered enough by Quilena murdering a priestess.
Are there any?
Like, that's a death penalty down there.
All right, that's not nothing. Are there any other authorities down below that would be in any way interested?
Out of character, it's a bit small for the Empress, isn't it?
Bit small for the Empress.
Small for the, I mean, is there like a local something?
That
local council.
That would be the temple.
Which is Sabrina's temple.
The various families, the houses, run the outskirts, and many of them have dominion over industries within the city. But the government of the city is essentially run by the church.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Who the church itself is subject to Empress Ariadne because she is a demigod, supposedly demigod immortal. Who rules with the very direct divine assent of the spider goddesses.
Yeah, I mean, the equivalent down there is the church, darling, really. The temple,
right.
Anyway. Everything's run by the temples down there.
Well,
but I mean, there's a chance if we got it through an Underdark entrance we could get it to her fairly fast. There are good methods of fast travel down there. There's the worm trains.
worm trains? We should go immediately.
Oh, do you not know about them?
Those sound
no.
amazing.
I mean, they're
What are they?
like, sort of what they sound like, really. There's a giant, scary worm thing. It's not really a worm. It's more like a big old millipede. It's got lots of legs and they're like, and it goes along quite fast through the tunnels. And it's got the reason they say train. It's got a train of carriages behind it, and you sit in the carriages, and the millipede worm thing pulls you along. Goes quite fast. Good fast travel.
So
Also,
like
there's
an underground caravan.
Yeah. Also, there's the web channels as well.
Webways.
Webways. Sorry. thought I'd fucking nailed it all.
Intellect.
Yeah. There's the webways as well. So you know how we all ride spiders?
Yeah.
They're sort of like pre-laid webs that are kind of like roads that they can go along. So there's some pretty good travel options. If we could get it down there, we could get it to her fairly quickly.
Alright, this is starting to sound like a plan.
Yeah. But like I say, it would be a matter of making sure something was actually going to happen with it.
Well then, I think the first thing we should do is find out exactly what this whip can tell us, and then decide what we're going to say to your priest Sabrina, or priestess rather, Sabrina.
I think we should wait to do anything with the whip until we're in the courts of justice.
Alright.
Actually, we shouldn't talk about where we're going at all.
No, we really.
I'd imagine there's scrying happening. But
We're going to Scarrel's Cove
Scarrel's Cove.
immediately.
It's my favourite place.
Right now.
Yeah, you fuckers. Again, I put middle
That'll
fingers up
be
into
just
the air.
after we make a jaunt to Fernon, and
And then,
and go around the Cape of Hongguao.
and back to Treachery afterwards for a cup of tea.
Yes.
It went so well last time.
Oh, it was a beautiful town. I miss it every day.
I've also heard Beardun is lovely this time of year.
Yeah. But we should wait until we're somewhere proofed so that she can't track it.
Speaking
Good idea.
of which, I think that's enough breakfast. I'll clean up the pots, and do we want to get on our way?
Yeah, I did have one
Yeah.
more thought. At some point I should look in on Adrian.
Yes, that's a good idea.
But don't have to do that now. What do you all
See if they've
think?
caught him. I doubt it, but
Yeah.
if they have,
Your
one less
sister would be
problem.
more worried if they had.
Oh, she wouldn't be standing there, yeah.
I mean, one thing that might be worth doing is actually checking in with the sculptor to see what's happening still in Vendion. Is the are the killings of the avant-garde continuing, or did the death of the mason put paid to that?
And just how much of a favour do we owe him?
I'm quite scared to talk to him. Yeah, we probably
I
should.
can't
though.
say I blame you, but it's useful information.
So, how much of that now? How much of all that later? What do you think?
Well,
Do it
maybe check
before
in
bed.
on Adrian.
Yeah, maybe I'll check in on Hadron and maybe we'll put off talking to the sculptor for a little bit longer.
Okay. You spin the eye,
Show me my horrible brother.
plunge in, look around. No bubble emerges.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
You return.
Fucking bollocks, he's somewhere proofed.
He's probably lying low.
Or in prison.
Oh, let's hope so. Or dead, or...
Wouldn't that be nice?
He might be in a lead box, all alone. Who knows?
Oh, that'll be it.
Yeah, sorted. The case is solved.
Mystery solved.
Oh. Shall we get going?
Okay. You
Yeah.
saddle up to your conjured horses and carry on the way. A little bit after midday, Celestia, you get a sudden sensation of being watched. And flick your head round, you can just see something sort of following you in the air, like a very faint shimmer.
Fuck do you want?
Oh no, someone spotted us.
Yeah.
Going to Scarrel's Cove.
Oh, on our way to Scarrel's Cove, you fuck.
do you allow it to keep going for a while?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
Fuck off.
after that you just sort of put a hand through it and it disintegrates.
Well, that's the second time ever that I've thrown that off. How exciting.
Well done. I'm very proud.
Thank you. It means
Yeah.
a lot.
I'm sure that probably feels rather satisfying, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they'll do another one in like whenever they can. But it's fine. Everything's fine.
Okay. You carry on.
Does
for
it
the
make
rest-
you immune if you resist it for a day? Did we figure that out? Is that a thing?
I've no idea out of character.
I believe you have actually figured that out by virtue of trying it on other people who've resisted and trying it again.
Oh,
Now working
so
out that
once they've resisted
once
once
you've
that
resisted,
day.
won't work for 24 hours. Yeah.
Oh, does that mean they can't see us for a bit?
Yeah, the same person can't track you again.
I mean, they've probably got like loads of mages, but that one can't. So that's exciting.
Well, that's
That's
a
nice.
useful bit of information to know.
Yeah.
Okay. You continue riding up through Terrachamp, around the coastline, sticking close to the coast, and eventually make camp for the night. I'm not going to make you go through it all again, Corzin, but after this time, presuming you do the dream again,
Oh yeah. of
this
course.
time you actually end up in a very nice, in a very nice little place, which is just on a coastline. With brilliant blue waters, tropical palm fronds nearby, and weirdly a bunch of statues of pigs, just in various
Okay.
poses. After wandering through that strange landscape for a while, every now and again you see ghostly images of people playing in the sand. You find one that resembles your son, approach it, and very briefly, Pa!
I'd sweep him up into my arms.
Ah! And you have a fantastic time at the beach with your son.
Okay, just one quick question.
Yes.
Are we able to influence the
You
environment
actually,
in
yes,
the same
you
way?
are within this dream bubble.
Okay. I have a I have two very specific things I want to do.
Okay.
One, obviously, I want to build a sandcastle with him.
Yes.
Yes, you build the biggest sandcastle, and unlike
Yeah,
your
and it is like a
sandcastles, it
huge
stays.
one with like minarets and
Yeah.
turrets, and it's lovely. The other one is I'm gonna point out onto the sea, and off in the distance there is a speck that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and slowly it resolves into the shape of a ship. We go up, step aboard, and go up to the forecastle and start sailing off around the bay. And I give little Corzin the wheel for a little bit as
He
we're
takes
sort
it,
of
just
sailing
sort of
along.
Standing up on the little halfling stool, that's needed for those wheels.
Yeah, it would need like a little hop up for it, which I would conjure out of nothing.
Yeah, the wind rushes through your hair.
Yeah.
The sun is warm on your skin. It's the perfect sort of Mediterranean sort of climb, like the times that you sailed down with ships in the past to down to Faroz.
I'd be like singing along with him as we're sailing off. There'd be people working the decks, and we'd just be up there having a tremendous time. It is time to go now. Haul away your anchor.
Yeah, no. When you eventually drift into true sleep, there is a warmth in your chest, although still just that little bit of a hint of cold, and a smile on your face.
Definitely.
As there is on little Corzin's.
That is the best thing.
Okay. The day comes, and again, a hard day's ride greets you. Well, a weirdly easy day's ride, because these things are so unrealistically comfortable to ride. Because they're not real. You travel again along the coast for a time, making your way past, just avoiding villages and, that are still around. There's very little that happens, honestly. Every now and again you might see a sail in the distance making the long, or just on the horizon making the journey, as ships now begin to return to Kion once again, as the docks have begun to come into existence or head up towards the distant form of delay. And you have a third night of rest. By the way, is there anything you wish to do on the third day? As on the fourth day, you know that you will be approaching Alisant.
Might actually check in with the sculptor.
Okay. What do you wish to send to him?
Sculptor. It's Celestia. Thank you. Big distraction. Big favour. Hope things are calming down. Please update us. Wishing you well. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Celestia. Unexpectedly interesting. Poor Mason. Still, opportunities arise. There's a new Fisher Queen in Vontion. She's settling in. I'll send my package when it's time.
Who is new Fisher Queen? Anyone we know?
You can send just at that if you want.
Yeah.
A few minutes later. The restaurateur. Big coffee drinker. Quite the promotion. Still needs someone competent to bring them into line. Ta-ta for now.
He's so creepy.
Did you just sign off in the same way as Tigger? Because now
Oh, the sculptor and Tigger, the same person. That's the twist.
Yep,
That's
yep.
the twist of the campaign.
Yeah, you unzip
They'll just
the...
go, the
you-
wonderful thing about sculptors is I'm ah!
You just unzip the friggin' Gorgon costume and there's a bouncy tiger inside.
That's the twist. We figured it out. That's the end of the
Yeah.
campaign.
Yeah.
Um,
And then inside that is Norrit. And inside that is...
Oh god!
so I say...
In some corner of the Dreamfold, that is true.
Oh no. So I say to the other two, well, he sounds fucking devastated.
I'm sure his heart bleeds.
Well, Veldrina's been promoted. She's in charge now.
Oh,
Called the
that
restaurant
makes
here.
sense. That's a
Well,
little
fitting,
bit
I
unwieldy.
suppose.
A little bit what?
Unwieldy,
Yeah.
as names go.
I think I
I
probably would
suppose
have
it's-
gone for the cafetiere or something if I was her.
Barista? No.
The
no.
barista.
Yes, that's what I know.
Very intimidating.
Would they even exist as like a job
Yes,
title in this
yeah,
world?
there does. Coffee shops are a thing.
I mean, next to,
Those
you
are
know, the scalpel and the sculptor and the mason and the bookkeeper, the barista is a bit weak.
I like it.
The waitress.
The freelancer.
Leo points out, the cafetiere sounds like the device you make coffee with.
That's kind of what I was going for, but I was trying to, like, play with it, you know, be clever. Never mind. Sorry, I'm just really tired. I've not been sleeping.
Right, dinner everyone, it's porridge.
Oh, I love porridge.
It's what we've got.
It's alright, we'll make it taste like weird stuff.
Okay. You maintain your vigil for the third night. The morning comes and you set out. Quite early on the fourth day, Celestia, you get that sense of being watched, and you glance to the side and again you can see that just faint haze in the air.
I'm still watching you, dicks. Fuck off.
It collapses.
I did it again.
Excellent.
Getting there.
Well done.
Maybe I have a brain. Probably not. Who knows? I have a bit of whiskey.
You're...
Yeah, I'm slightly drunk for this whole time. Like, never
Okay.
pissed, but always, like, slightly drunk. And again, there are no silences. Like, I'm always playing... If we're not riding, I'm playing something.
And it's actually... You ride the first sort of 40 minutes or so. The first 40 minutes, 20-minute break, another 40 minutes. And it's into the second hour while you're just gently strumming something on your electric guitar. That Corzin, you're the first to hear the sound of fast hoofbeats in the distance.
All right,
You glance
lots.
off, a number, and actually as you glance off, you can see coming up the road, as by this point you're on a road, there's no reason not to travel on one, heading the same way towards Alicent. You can see you just make out to be a blue and grey painted military carriage. You've seen them before. They're used for transport of officers or equipment and so on. This is one where the shutters are... You can just make out they've got the shutters up, which is not uncommon when people are travelling through, and there are 4 horses driving it before. And they are all moving at very fast pace, but in perfect lockstep, in a manner that you've seen before. In fact, you last saw this on the carriage that
With
the
the king.
was using. These
Right.
horses are under the lockstep enchantment, which is a similar effect that you've heard of before of military mages casting to Scamp's conjured horses, but instead they work on actual horses and can work on... there's a few differences to them. The mage has to concentrate on keeping them up. keeping the enchantment up. It still works for an hour at a time, requires actual horses, but can do multiple horses at once, which is good for carriages such as these. And so while you're busy sketching out your horses, you can see that it's riding towards your position. You can just see that, and there's a couple of drivers up top.
Right. I'm going to point this out to everyone, first of all. And does it look like a similar carriage to the one the king and his family were riding in?
Not dissimilar. Like it is a carriage. It's a four-horse carriage, but it's not. That one was more like a upper middle class travel carriage. This one is a bit more like almost like a mail carriage in its build. This is built. It's a very functional carriage. There's a number of them that the military have.
Would it be safe to say that we are like the assembly's side of the lines by now?
Oh yeah, and this does seem to bear assembly markings, as far as I can tell.
I'm just going to point it out to them and say, look, those horses are oddly in step with each other.
Hang on. I spin the eye. Show me the inside of that carriage.
Okay.
You're on that bit.
It takes 10 minutes to cast.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're like nearby, aren't they?
You're looking at it at the range, like, that carriage is likely to be...
I pictured it super far
No,
away.
the carriage is... The carriage is a fair distance away, but it will be where you are within 5 minutes.
No, I didn't picture it coming towards us. Sorry, that was me getting my mental image wrong, scratch that.
It is coming
I'm not
up
doing
the
that.
road from behind where you guys were.
I just have a feeling that we shouldn't be seen right now. Don't know why, just do. Anyone else feeling that?
Alright, let's not be seen then.
Is it just paranoia? I can't tell anymore.
Well, at this point, until we get what we're carrying back to where it needs to go, then I don't think that's completely...
Could be an ally who give us a lift, but it's probably not worth the risk.
Travelling in the wrong direction, aren't they?
No,
they're heading towards Alcyon.
Oh, okay.
Although, if that carriage has the king in it, they're not going to execute him before we get back, are they?
The carriage that would have gone from a carriage coming from Treachery would enter via probably one of the
other
north
way.
gates.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
No, hang on, that'd be from the other side.
Yeah, you're heading towards one of the south gates.
Yeah, no, never mind. Ignore me. I just think we should get to the courts of justice as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, Scamp is in the middle of conjuring horses at this point, so...
Should we just... Can we hide off to a side?
Yeah. There's foliage,
Yeah.
there's hedgerows and things. Can you... everyone give me a stealth check, please.
Ooh, dice.
Roll one for Leah.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Natural 20.
Hello.
8.
Oh.
Wow, that's like... He's really good at stealth as well.
Okay. You, as you're riding past, you see there are a couple of people on top of the carriage. There are two... there's two halfling soldiers. One kind of a wiry, pale-skinned ginger halfling who's got the hands on the reins, and there's a chubbier, dark-skinned blonde halfling holding it with a sort of carbine on their shoulder, who's sort of lazily looking around. There's actually a point where you guys are hiding. The one with the carbine's eyes just pass straight over you without any obvious reaction. And the horses continue onwards. Go over a bit of a time. Horses carry on towards Alison.
Do we want to know who's in the carriage? I mean, it's probably proof, but I could try.
Can't hurt, although... Yeah, go on. I mean, worst case scenario, we've just... no one's any the wiser.
Fuck it.
Well,
show me the inside of that carriage.
Yeah. While Scamp is producing the horses, you spin the eye, plunge down, look around. No bubble comes up.
Nah, definitely proved.
All right.
You are aware that sanctum effects can be tied to a vehicle.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, let's go
As
on,
and
I
when
guess.
we get the ship together, I think it might not be a bad idea to try and get that sanctumed.
Takes a year, but it's probably worth it. Yeah.
But probably worth keeping part of it you can use it in, though.
Yeah.
Like a room or something.
Yeah.
Have a sending room.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Alright. You by the time you finish, the second horse flourishes into being. Do you still want you're still how close do you get to Alicent with your bright shining blue horses?
Oh no, these ones are spotty now.
Okay.
What
Just
colour
covered in
spots?
spots.
Green and yellow.
Ah.
And you ride on a
Like sort of
Oh no, I'm just imagining like horse versions of the spotty man from Super Ted.
Oh,
Leah
I've
just
forgotten him.
exchanges a look with you, Celestia, before getting onto her horse.
Yeah, I return it.
You saddle up and carry on towards the south gates. And in fact, the gate you approach, if I get one of my handy Alicent maps out. If I get one of my handy Alicent maps out, there's my handy Alicent map, is... Okay, you approach the appropriately named South Gate from my handy map there. And there is something a little bit unexpected to greet you. The gate is patrolled as before, and you can see that there are a handful of guards wearing the uniform of the National Guard. But the majority of the guards on the South Gate are dressed in civilian coats, armed with muskets, and wearing the tricolour cockades or sashes that you saw many of the more volunteer, sort of militia-y soldiers.
So are they on the royalist side? Just to clarify for
Oh no,
Ellie's
no.
brain.
They're on the. Everyone here is on the Republic, sort of the
National
revolutionary
Assembly.
side.
Yeah.
But
The angry lady's taken over.
but there's a difference
Yes.
between the National Guard and there's sort of, not exactly side by side. They're working together, but you can see the Guard is sort of more.
Marius and co are
Focused
on
together.
the gate. Yeah.
Yes, but yeah, Marius and Co are kind of on the gate right now.
Well, it's not Marius, is it?
Yeah.
No, to be fair, it was just the first character that I
It's
thought of.
Ogeras.
And you guys actually arrive quite late in the day. In fact, by the time you arrive, the sun is setting, and you're actually approaching evening. And in fact, it is. The sun is setting, and it takes a moment for you to realise what is there by the gates. They look like a number of poles with something on top.
Oh god.
But as you approach,
Oh, it's
whether,
gonna be the king's head, isn't
whether
it?
it's on horses or by foot, if you're standing your usual thing of dismounting just out of sight and walking up, you can see that there are indeed a number of heads mounted on pikes,
So the king.
along
It's so gonna
with
be
a
the
sign
king.
marked "Traitors to Saul." A few a few faces are just flash up in the light before your eyes glaze over. A pig-faced man with thick black mutton chops. You get the feeling his face was probably ruddy and flush in life. It's now pale and drawn in death. There's a halfling woman with a mole below her lip whose blue eyes have now faded white, expression frozen in horror. The only bits of colour left are curled blonde ringlets. There's an orc's head, grey-skinned, bald, and there's a final look of resignation etched into his features, even as the sort of pale rictus of death has drawn it quite harshly across his face. There are about a dozen or so heads in total, piked up here, None of them appear to be the Kingworth's family.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I mean, it's still it could be members of the nobility, which is also really fucking
Oh no,
bad.
it definitely is.
Do we
Yeah.
recognise any of them personally?
Give me an insight check.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Oh, that's not good. That's a 10 from me.
That is a 14.
I'm not looking.
Fair.
Corzin, you think you saw Mutton Chop Man in the National Assembly before the Purge
All right.
on the noble side?
This is going to make things really hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole guaranteeing fair trials point is a little bit... Fuck. Bollocks.
The
If it happened before the ceasefire, at least it was a...
I mean, it did
Thing
happen before the
war.
ceasefire.
How long have they been up there?
give me a medicine check, or I guess you can go up and ask.
I'll do a medicine check first. That is a... Oh, it's another 14.
Judging from the rate of decomposition, a day.
Ow, balls.
To be fair, though, no ceasefire until the treaty's signed by everyone.
Yes.
True, it's
So
still
actually,
war for
it's
them.
still there's still a war on until we sort this out.
There's
You
an
know, they've
argument
agreed,
that's been
but
made,
the
yeah.
assembly haven't yet, and they haven't signed. So technically, still happened during wartime.
You
Well, let's not dally then.
you. I'm assuming you're walking up rather than riding up.
Yeah.
I think Corzin would.
You walk up.
We'll leave the horses a while back.
Yeah, and they crumble to dust. And the one of the pair of the National Guard soldiers walk out towards you and holds up a hand. Old papers.
Of course. I hold out my
What's in your
Celestia
papers?
Stardust passport.
I present them.
Glances through them, passes them back.
Thank you. How have things been here?
He leans a little bit tense with the he does the air quotations thing. Trial yesterday.
Oh shit! What was that?
Is that where this lot came from? And he
Oh,
points
shit,
up
of
to
course you
the...
wouldn't know.
No, I've been on the road.
One of the so the assembly was intending to do the first trials for the soldier for the nobility who were accused of treason, and about 30 of them were being escorted from the Great Bastard, where they were being kept. There's a few prisons in the city. The Bastard is one of them, under National Guard escort. When I heard drinking in the guard room that a bunch of those fucking sans-culottes, they started calling themselves the Alisson Militia, or at least they claim to be part of the Alisson Militia, came up and took custody of the nobility. They did not have a warrant, but they claim that the authority of justice in the revolution gave them the right to intervene, and they were outnumbering the escort about 5-1. And between you and me, I'm not sure I would not have done the same thing. But one way or another,
If you're outnumbered 5-1, you're outnumbered. It's fair enough.
he nods. They got hold of them and dragged them off to Baker's Square. And of course, earlier in the day, Madame Guillotine had just been demonstrating her new invention, so it was still up.
What's that?
Oh, of course, you would not have read the
I've been out
papers.
of town for a couple of weeks and
no.
on the road and all sorts.
Madame Guillotine, she's a halfling inventor. She's devised a new form of execution. It is so I saw some of the practice work being carried out on some rotten melons, but apparently yesterday was supposed to be its first actual use. Of course, she says it will be an end to the gallows. Part of the whole thing is everyone who's being executed deserves a clean death.
So what does it do?
Well, instead of having people, dance the fandango, it's better if everyone has a decapitation, but you need quite a skilled axeman for that. So it's basically a sort of weighted blade in a rack, and it's you sort of pull the lever and it goes down. You put the person with their neck in a sort of like holster. It's a bit like a stocks, and it goes down and quick as you please cuts off the head. And the important thing is you don't need a skilled axeman, so it's cheap to set up, so you don't need to basically, you're cheating the argument is that anyone of any class can now get a quick, clean death if they're being executed, and it's a lot more, compassionate than the gallows. So it was due to be trialed out yesterday evening. There was a trio of merchants who were sentenced in the proper courts of justice for food hoarding, which of course is a capital crime in these times. And they were due to be executed. And the guillotine Madame Guillotine's machine had been set up in advance, and the militia set up the trial there with their own judge, or someone calling a judge, and sentence them one by one for treason, and dragged them all up to the machine and cut off their heads.
Fucking shit bollocks.
There's, don't get me wrong, there's a lot more aristos in the prisons, and they're all calling for them to come out, and now the assembly is very much putting a halt to the trials until we can put together a more secure transport. But obviously most of us, and gestures from himself to his companion, and she nods, we've all been called to the front, to the north.
Yes.
So not 100% sure what's going to happen.
Well, great.
We've no time to lose then.
Yeah, we need to get there right now.
To where, if you don't mind me asking?
The courts.
You will have just missed the assembly session for today. They finish up it. Okay. Well, I'll open the gates. He looks a little green in the gills. Regent... sorry. The revolution, I suppose, be with you. Or whatever it is these days. Whatever they're calling it in the voice of liberty.
Same to you.
He nods and waves you through.
Oh. This might make things very hard.
As you walk through the gates, there are a number of these plain-clothed militia that glance down at you. Some of the soldiers are looking kind of uncomfortable. Like one of them, who's just sort of having a pipe, glances at you as you go past, and you can feel there's a lot of eyes on you as you just make your way through.
We're back sooner than we had any right to be.
Yeah, but don't make a big thing of it.
I'm not, but my point being is that not a moment too soon, it would seem.
Yeah, also, just be careful about naming where we are before we're there.
Yeah.
Not a word.
Okay. You're heading straight to the courts?
Yeah.
And indeed you do. It's a straight route up the main street. And there are still people around, but there is a palpable tension in the air. A lot of people are watching each other carefully. The only people who don't seem to be watching themselves carefully are one slightly rowdy group of men and women dressed in with the tricolor cockades, who come down, who march down the street. Some of them with guns, many of them drinking, and they just seem to salute anyone they pass and go, "Long live the revolution!"
Yeah.
Corzin sort of half-heartedly raises a fist.
The Lear does the same. One of them, who's got slightly swaying on their bottle, leans onto her sort of. You lean forward and put your forearms on your thighs and goes, "What about you, little horned one?
What about me?
Do you support the revolution?"
Mate, I started it.
I like this one. Come on! And they carry on
Celestia
the
just
way.
quietly loses it and has a little meltdown after that scenario, and lights a pipe of opium and just sort of giggles and coughs into it for the next few minutes.
You make your way to the Courts of Justice, where you do note outside the Courts of Justice at this point are only National Guard troops. And you can see that they've been giving some looks at the groups of militia going by. They see you approach, and some of them recognizing you give a short salute. The one at the door actually has seen you before and salutes you. Opens up the door and actually says to you, "If you are looking for President Savat, this assembly has just finished convening. He's most likely in his offices."
Thank
Great, thank you.
Gives you a nod and you make your way inside.
Oh, nice to know they can't see us.
Yes, rather.
Leah exhales a little. Yeah. You make your way through towards the back parts of the Courts of Justice. You can see there is one corridor where there is a rope across it. Just a red little velvet rope across it, but there are a number of guards down that corridor. And you recall it leads off to some of the apartments. And they just sort of watch you as you go by. And these guards are a little more alert and armed than usual.
That'll be where the king is, won't it?
Oh, yeah.
Would make
Still
sense.
hanging around.
I mean, he's got to be somewhere, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And after what happened in Treachery, I imagine wherever he is, it's under very close guard.
Oh, yeah.
Especially
I'd have
after
increased the guard.
yesterday.
Yep.
So you make your way past, and you're sort of let through by the guards who recognise you up until you get towards the back. As you're getting down the corridor that leads up towards Savat's office, you can hear the shouting.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear.
Damn it! Jacqueline, we have been through this. You need to keep your dogs in line. They are not my dogs. You know what I mean. The militia, will not deny that I have friends in the militia, but those citizens acted of their own initiative. I can try to calm them down, but they did what they saw as being the right thing, punishing the aristos who put us in this mess through the years of mismanagement of this country. Look, what they see as right is neither law nor justice. Perhaps not law, Jean-Paul. Regardless, Jacqueline, it must stop. I will not tolerate these lynch mob trials, and if I have to, I will use what I have left of the National Guard here to thresh their ranks for anyone who will take the law into their own hands. Even you, Jacqueline. No one is above the law. It's at this point that they seem to hear your footsteps. Who's there?
Hello, it's Celestia, Scamp, and Corzin.
You step round the corner. Oh, good to see you. The pair of them are looking a little worn. Jacqueline has the look, has a sort of hard expression to her eyes, and she's the look of someone who's had a long night and a long day. Savat is looking downright haggard. He has bags under his eyes, and he's got a 2-day growth of beard. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Hello.
Rubs his chin for a moment. Sorry, you can see his necktie is... he's got a little bit of a tie, a necktie which is undone. Bit out of shape at the moment. Actually due a visit from my barber this evening.
Sounds like you've been pretty busy.
You have more important things to worry about, darling.
Oh, don't tell me about it. Still, you know what they say? They do. I believe the Ferocians say that a good shave is as good as a rest.
Believe we have a conversation to have.
Were you successful?
Yes. On one side we were. Depends how it goes here, obviously.
He nods. Jacqueline, would you mind? Of course. She pulls out a chair, stands up, gives a short nod to Savat, to the party, picks up her bag and steps off, walks down the corridor. It is late. I should head home. Let's talk about the sensitive stuff. Anything sensitive here, and then we'll talk about anything else walking back, if that's all right. It is late and I should get home.
I'm really worried about being seen by somebody in particular, and would really rather do anything sensitive in a place that's proofed.
All right. Well,
I was actually going to ask if you wouldn't mind us staying here.
Yes, certainly. I can understand. We'll have the usual apartment made up for you.
Thank you.
I mean, if you're worried about you specifically, I think the mages have some juice left, as it were. I might be able to spring you a non-detection. There's a spell can proof someone for about 8 hours against
yes,
divinations.
That would be wonderful.
Of course.
Thank you.
We'll come with me. We'll head up to the. You know what? I'll just send someone. Calls into the guards. Could you see if one of the mages is free to put a non-detection on someone, please? Thank you.
Thank you. I wouldn't normally be bothered, but
No, I understand. Close the door. Let's talk for a bit. Although I honestly would appreciate the company going home.
Are you worried about being attacked?
Are you being guarded by anyone else going home?
Yes. I have a couple of guards. I have some guards that come with me, and there's an escort that maintains a patrol outside my house.
Happy to be more people, though. That's fine.
Sensible, yes.
Why are those heads on the wall still?
Oh, by the Regent. I don't know if you've heard about the impromptu trial.
Murders? Let's call them what they are. Those were murders.
Yes, they are, because they haven't gone through a trial. Whether we would have found them guilty or not.
Doesn't matter, that was murder.
One of the points of the treaty was guaranteed trials, and I can't pretend I'm not worried about that.
Well,
guaranteed proper trials.
Still a few hundred more of them left, which are the ones I'm trying to keep alive. At least until we can get a trial done. Speaking of which, I've got the treaty there.
Yeah, you're
Mind
not
if I
going to
just,
like everything.
He takes 5 minutes to read through it. Okay. You're going to have... Okay, this is going to be a hard one in places, but I think we can get it through.
It was honestly the most we could manage.
That's fine. Well, we'll need to do it in tomorrow's assembly. I'll leave a note with one of the secretaries to put it in the minutes, in the agenda. Top of the agenda, in fact. I'll be able to argue the case. I'll probably call you in as expert witnesses.
Yeah, that's fine.
To assist me in making the point. So fortunately, we're still the Academy faction is still able to hold up against against Josephine's bourgeoisie. There are, I'd say we have about even numbers loyal to us in the house, with the remainder being split between the dwindling influence of the capitalists and, of course, those who are more loyal to the military.
I don't think the military's got a terrible time in this.
No, it looks like they should be reasonably happy with this, actually.
I hope so.
They won't be happy
What's the
about...
situation on the ground here, though? There seems to be a lot of unrest between various different factions of the revolution.
Well, that's sort of the thing, unfortunately. Jacqueline's... They're not all Jacquelines, but I'd be lying if I said she didn't have a sway with them. They call themselves the militia, or the citizens of liberty, or the army of the revolution. We had to draft more of them in when we sent the guard, the trained soldiers, north. We had to, because we needed soldiers we could rely on in the north, where the front is. Miston's gone up to take care of that situation, and thank you again.
I was going to ask, is he quite alright?
Oh, we never explained that, did we?
Yes, we should probably explain that. But to be honest, I think the treaty has to take precedent for now. He's alive. He's doing what he needs to do.
That might be a conversation for tomorrow.
There will be a full report as promised.
Regardless, with the soldiers with the militia in number, they've started to throw their weight around in places. And then there's that bloody newspaper.
Which newspaper?
There's the new newspaper, Voice of the Revolution. Some are calling it the Voice of Liberty. It's I don't know who the bloody hell is printing it, but someone is printing it, and it's as far as Jacqueline's bourgeoisie are concerned, and let's be blunt here, they are largely make up the townsfolk, everyone who's dispossessed, and of course anyone who under the current voting system doesn't have enough income to count as an active citizen with a vote in electing representatives. It's singing, it is preaching to that choir. It is praising the revolution. It's calling for it to spread, demanding an end to nobility and aristocracy, a great levelling.
I mean, whilst that would be lovely, how are they proposing we do this?
How do you imagine?
Lots and lots of murder.
At the end of a musket.
We are we still maintain a majority with the capitalists and the military on side in the assembly, or at least we maintain enough to hold against those who lean towards Jacqueline's views. So she's no longer. So she may well have something of a plurality, but it's collective. But it's matched by the academics, and we're able to keep the rest in play.
Jacqueline's still one of the biggest voices in the government, though.
Yes.
if you're at loggerheads with each other, as you increasingly seem to be, then that's something that needs to be addressed at the highest level. If Jacqueline has enough sway with the common people, then we've got to find...
I can't imprison her without trial. I can't get rid of her without very solid evidence of misdeed that she has committed personally.
I wasn't suggesting you do anything of the sort.
Because if I did, the streets will rise up.
It would be very
no
obvious.
doubt. So, we need to find some way to at least make the treaty that we've negotiated, as it stands, palatable to her, at least for now.
I think we can...
None of it can be changed. There's a lot about the nobility that she won't like.
No, and looking through it, the military will be on side, generally. They won't be happy about the commission restoration, but they'll enjoy the guaranteed ministerial seat. The capitalists will be about half and half, I'd say. They're happy that they'll still have their vote, and that their towns haven't lost power through the restoration of the old serfdom system, but they won't be happy about the losses to tax that we're going to see, because they're going to have to put their own money in. Of course, where my faction is all on board. We're not terribly happy about the tax, but this is a stable, this promises stable government and orderly transition with still good representation. The bourgeoisie are going to be the hard ones. They'll be happy to have peace. They'll be happy that we didn't give in on serfdom or any restrictions of liberty. They won't be happy about the privileges that are still being kept, and they're still angry that we haven't extended the suffrage. We haven't extended suffrage to everyone, and of course, a lot of these statements reinforce that the Regency is the state religion.
Yeah, you try and sell that to that room.
No, I understand. Frankly, looking at what you didn't concede, well done.
Thank you.
I think
Thought you might have had to give up more.
The best way that we can sell this, then, to the people who are going to be disenfranchised or dissatisfied with it is that at the very least, with the situation as it stands with this treaty, they have a place at the table in order to try and influence things towards the way they want. But for now, short-term gain is far more important.
Exactly.
Peace.
I think we sell it to them as step one.
Yes. That's how we have to.
We work towards religious freedom. We work towards the vote for everybody.
Keep those arguments for tomorrow. I'll need them.
The trouble is that we might want to consider is that under this treaty, quite a lot of the militia are going to be on trial. They've broken laws.
They unlawfully murdered someone, yes.
Yeah.
Those who were responsible, but that's fine. I'm going to be very blunt. It is up to us when we enforce that. I would like to enforce that particular justice once the front to the north is more stable and I can bring back the army. Because then we will have the numbers to arrest those responsible.
I warn you that right now it looks like you condone the murders and that it's fine.
The Assembly has roundly denounced them.
And yet the heads are on the wall.
You need to deal with that.
Yes, we do. It won't be popular, but I'm going to have to send some of the guard to take those down. And we'll just have to fight back against the consequences.
Would you like them to disappear in the night, or is that worse?
I would count that as a small personal favour.
Potentially could be arranged.
Still, Try not to get caught.
Best leave them with a mystery rather than an out-and-out thing to get annoyed about.
And it would ease my conscience to know I'm not potentially sending soldiers of the National Guard into a bloodbath.
There's been far too many of those already.
Provided, well, I think you've proved your capabilities. He looks down at the copy of the treaty in front of him. More than enough.
Thanks.
He looks to you, Celestia. I'll keep hold of this treaty, this copy of the treaty.
We have another.
Thank you. He looks to Corzin. Hold on to that one for safety.
Yeah, best
With
not
my
have
life.
them both in the same place.
And in fact, I think I might take this one home with me just to be safe.
And please, for the love of the Regent, be safe.
Well, I'll be quite happy to have you come with me. And in fact, if there's anything, if you want to talk about anything more sensitive, I'd say it now, but for the moment I would appreciate perhaps some lighter chatter on the way back. And actually, you hear footsteps. Come in. A brown-haired woman in a military uniform with the epaulets marking a mage and arrives. Salutes. Monsieur President, if you could cast a non-detection, please.
Thank you.
She takes out a series of 3 rods with differently coloured metal points on them. Takes a minute to adjust them. They have little stands and if I could ask you to stand up and just go in the centre there.
Yeah.
She places them around you. Chants, not really so much words, what seems like very specific syllables, or with a degree of mathematical precision. Adjust them, and you feel something settle around you. And done. She collects up the rods.
Thank you very much.
That is quite all right. You will be good for the next 8 hours.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, unless there's anything else. Good evening.
Thank you, that's a great favour.
She steps out and leaves.
I can go for a walk.
How much is widely known of the events with the king and treachery?
Well, unfortunately, I told the Inquirer to put that under a block.
Who's talking right now? I've got confused.
Sorry, I accidentally stated I was in the wrong voice.
Yeah,
I
you
was
were in the
well
wrong accent.
confused.
I
I'm
was just
sorry.
going. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was still
like,
in the
is
same
it
place
the
as the
mage?
Yeah, the maid's
Like-
gone. Well, there we go. I told the Inquirer to put. I put a block on it on the Inquirer. Had Giselle carefully control that, but that's where the voice of liberty came in.
I mean, privately, it was very funny. He toasted himself.
What?
He stood
did.
up and went, "To the
Right.
king!"
Right in the middle of a bar full of people.
In a crowded pub. I mean,
It was a little obvious after that.
it was sort
Wow.
of amazing. I didn't know if you knew, and I thought you might want to treasure the image.
That is I swear that is a mental image that I'm going to take with me laughing to my grave.
Yes, I mean, that man ruled the country at one stage, and we're wondering why we're so fucked.
Oh.
Well, if ever you needed a reason, but I have to ask, what of his family?
All of them are currently being kept under guard here in the courts. It's the most secure place we have that's definitely under our control.
Good.
And a trial will be scheduled for himself, for the king. When
is
it
perhaps
will be
gone.
scheduled, we don't know.
It is perhaps worth noting that when we spoke to some of the aristocracy and the clergy, their take on the whole situation with the king was that, well, especially from the religious angle, if the king rules or has any power derived from the regent, it's more that it's the family.
Oh yeah, that's
That
part of
is-
the treaty.
So what you're
Yes.
saying is the nobles and the clergy don't mind if we have a girl queen,
No, not at all.
rather than adult
It would
king.
seem not.
Brutal, but
It can
understandable.
be an heir.
Fine. Well,
Also, an heir is more arguably a clean slate, although I'm not quite sure how compliant an heir whose father was literally executed by the previous government is going to be.
neither do I, but
Well, it's all in the treaty.
It's-
We've talked about them being a figurehead rather
we know how to argue it at least.
than... one more quick thing before we leave and talk about normal stuff. Don't suppose you've heard about what's been happening in Vondion? You had any word?
Jacqueline has brought me some word from her spies there, and I of course have the military reports. The front has been being pushed back, although that's currently reached a. Well, we were having some excellent news about pushing forwards, but actually, in the last few days, the Royalist troops have been pushing back again. It seems that there was a sniper who'd been taking out key members of their officers who
The Wraith?
ceased operating. Ah, yes, the Wraith. That was the word. And since then, they've been able to start mounting an effective counter. I imagine, though, once we send to them to confirm the ratification of the treaty, both sides will be able to bring to a ceasefire and remobilise our troops to the north where they're needed.
Let's hope it works.
Suffice to say, if you have any envoys from the Underdark, treat them with the utmost suspicion.
Oh, don't trust them as far as you can throw them. They're not
Interesting.
on your side anyway.
The envoy to the Underdark classically worked for the king. I believe she went off to the Royalists after he discharged the.
Yeah, and went on a little killing spree the other night.
Interesting.
I got
Yes.
shot here and here.
They murdered citizens within Vondion.
Yeah.
Savat reaches over his desk, assuming you sat back down, Celestia, and puts a hand just hovering over yours.
I nod, and it's sort of a question.
Puts a hand on it. Puts a hand on yours. Looks into your eyes and smiles and nods. Sounds like you have prior experience with these people.
Yeah, a lot.
Well, let's hope you don't have to run into them again.
Yeah, the family name is Rothenal. If anyone turns up, just A, don't trust them, and B, let me know if you
Of
could.
course. Right. And, yes, of course. You are welcome to stay within the Sanctum departments here, as long as you need.
Thanks.
And, of course, for the next 8 hours.
That would be most helpful.
Actually, really lovely.
Well, I am looking forward to getting back to my bath and my shave.
And, I mean, you need to sleep. You look like you're dead.
Charming. He gets up.
I will walk with you if...
No, come on, you're all welcome.
Yeah, let's walk.
Well, is he wearing armour of any kind?
No, he's a civilian.
Then I will cast Mage Armour.
Oh,
just in case. It'll just help a bit.
Kind of twists it, moves his hand for a moment. Oh, my skin feels strangely leathery.
It does that.
Well, thank you. All right then. You make your way out of the courts. As you go, you turn around and head up towards Regent's Bridge. You are accompanied by 4 members of the National Guard who come with you as part of Savat's standard escort. And
do they look trustworthy? I'm so worried he's going to be assassinated.
No,
roll
me
an
too.
insight check.
Can I do one as well,
Yeah.
actually? Would that be alright?
Ooh,
13 from me.
that is a dirty 20.
They are all quite solidly professional-looking soldiers, but every now and again, as you're walking, Savat will idly chat to them, just asking how their brother is doing, or how their daughter is doing. It looks like he knows each of them personally,
Okay,
and they seem to all know him.
good.
You do carry on, however, and as you go up the Regent's Bridge, there is a moment where you see a figure that you hadn't actually seen for a little while, of a blonde halfling girl. This is your revolution! One cuppa!
Yeah, go on, I'll have one.
Matt rolls his eyes and you toss her a copper. Thank you very much! Passes it, and seeing the soldiers, kind of picks up her stack of newspapers and scurries on. And you kind of look at the headline. Justice for 30 aristos.
Oh, fuck, there were 30 of them.
Savat nods.
Oh, dear.
That was the full number they managed to intercept. There's a piece on the talking about the justice served in at the Baker Square trials. How and also a small complimentary note on Madame Guillotine's new invention and how it should be standardised.
Great.
Savat, reading over his shoulder, says, "You know, of all things, that's probably the only part of it that's actually good news."
Yeah, how is that the least creepy of all of this? That's the least creepy thing in this newspaper.
Honestly, have you watched a hanging before?
Yes, many times.
Yeah.
It is an improvement.
You say you don't know who's doing this paper.
No.
Do you know where it's being printed? Or anything
No.
about it?
Must be within the city.
Indeed, that seems likely. And of course, Jacqueline says her spies have not found anything.
Is that something that your spell could do? The one that sees an object's history?
Oh, maybe.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Oh, I've heard about that. That is not a bad idea. Most of our diviners are off at the front, but
I can do that stuff.
interesting. That could be very useful.
Yeah, happily.
All right.
Can do it today if you want.
Yes, I mean,
Or tomorrow?
that takes a while to cast, doesn't it? Probably.
20 minutes?
Probably do it when you're back at the, when you've settled down for a bit. But
Great.
I'll be happy to hear the news on that tomorrow. There's most of the paper. It's actually quite a thin paper, and it just seems to put a very solid spin on much of the things you would expect. There is a great deal of praise for the National Guard and encouraging more of them to be sent to the front to valiantly defend the nation and to press forward and spread the fires of liberty to the rest of the world.
Blah.
You head up along past the Corn Exchange and up towards the houses. They're sort of quite nice townhouses just south of the university.
They're a little eager to start another revolution before the first one's fully
That's
succeeded.
popular rhetoric, isn't it, at the very least? But
Wouldn't it be nice if it was someone noble making this paper? That's a good way to discredit it.
that would be fantastic. Although that might be a little bit like a pig voting for a pig campaigning for the spread of slaughterhouses.
If the pig
This-
knew it wasn't going to be
this-
taken itself, maybe it would, you know?
True, true.
This paper seems to be quite a big threat to everything actually working.
Now that is a view.
Well, finding out who is responsible for it is the first step.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
And as you discuss, you come towards the street, which is a row of 3-story houses, and you can see.
I'm looking for assassins
Yeah,
everywhere.
Roll a perception check if you want.
Yes,
Yes,
please.
there's lots of high buildings, and
Just-
we don't
it's-
know where your brother is.
Like walking the president home is just like a bit much to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
18.
an 8.
Okay,
18.
Celestia.
8.
8. Okay. There is a point where where there are a crowd of rowdy soldiers going by, not soldiers, militia going by, where Savat smoothly takes a detour to avoid them. You see a halfling pissing in an alleyway at one point. So there is another one pushing a small sort of wheelbarrow of some roasted nuts.
Oh, I'm hungry.
Do you want some nuts?
Yes,
I get them.
Savat puts up a hand.
thank you.
My treat.
Oh,
And pays for a cone of roast nuts for everyone.
that's very sweet of you. Thank you.
Not at all. Well, you've certainly done well enough, and we'll talk. And speaking of which, we'll talk about payment in the morning as well.
Oh, thank you.
Much obliged to you.
Area, of course. Home sweet home. He looks up and you can see Savat's house is one of the 3-story sort of brownstone type buildings. It's a kind of terraced townhouse, and it's got quite a nice sort of heavy stone portico, black door. Yeah, go on. It is number 10 along the street.
Yeah.
Yes!
Ah, yes.
And you know what? Sort of.
That's super dumb and I love it.
We're gonna say it's Downward Street.
Love
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love it.
Nice that someone competent lives there for once.
I know.
Hey!
Fucking change, isn't it? Oh my god, what's going to be happening
Someone
politically
who's
by the time
just
this
not
episode comes
terrible.
out?
Who knows?
Ooh, I always have a
Yeah.
if we talk about politics while we're recording an episode, I just have like a tiny heart attack and
Yeah.
think, what's going to be happening in 6 weeks when this comes out? It's just like it's not a good feeling. Anyway, carry on.
So, and you can see there is a group of 6 National Guard soldiers already on the gate. As they approach, as you approach, Savat shakes one of their hands. Marisha, good to see you. Sir, they salute to the other 4. You nod smartly and turn, begin marching up the street to make their own way back. Savat looks back at the door. Right. I need to go take a bath. Thank you. Personally and on behalf of the Assembly. Tomorrow we're going to take this in to the convention. And we are going to make peace.
Let's hope so.
Okay.
Stay safe.
He shakes each of your hands. All right. Oh, Shep rubs his cheek for a moment and then goes upstairs. The door closes. The soldiers shuffle in position, adjusting their muskets.
I have such a bad feeling and I don't know why.
I know, I don't want to leave him.
There's fuck all we can really do.
I'll ask one of the soldiers. Is this place sanctioned?
Yes, we start. Sorry. Yes. Marisha says, yes, we sanctumed. We had the location sanctumed. There's a mate who comes by and does it every morning.
All right, well, that's something at least.
Indeed. It's fine. We've maintained this vigil most nights.
I would like to cast Detect Thoughts and just do a general jump around all the soldiers' heads and see if I hear anything weird.
Okay. You just gesture behind your back and...
Do I see Celestia do this?
I mean, how much are you hiding it from the soldiers?
Oh, like trying to hide it from the soldiers, obviously.
Yeah. But you're not really hiding it from the rest of the party. So I'll say you see Celestia move her hands behind her
in which
back.
case I will ask the soldiers, have there been any attempts to strike at Savat directly from these militia types?
No, thank the regent. And you hear her think, although I've got to say at this point it feels like it's only a matter of time. But we maintain a pretty constant vigil, and of course, she taps the bell at her belt. We can always call for help from more members if needed. You hear another of them think. One of them thinks, yes. But any moment, but it's all boiling to a head, and there aren't enough of us to man everywhere. Sooner or later, they're gonna cause a riot, and we're gonna be needed. Don't worry, says Marisha. I know things are tense right now, but they're all right. We will keep this watch. Savat has selected everyone specially. We're all known to him, and he knows all of us.
Right.
Good.
It's about this point that a halfling woman with blonde ringlets, carrying a heavy leather bag, starts coming up the street, walking towards the door. One of the soldiers holds up a hand. Halt! Who are you? Hello. I'm looking to get to... I am Monsieur President Barber.
Have I still got to take thoughts up?
Roll a d10 and we'll see how many rounds you've got
If
left.
not, I'll recast it. But...
It's probably going to be less than 5.
2.
Okay, you've got two rounds left.
I'd like to do it on here.
Okay. She thinks... Hey, Mel. The guard says, can I look in your bag? Thinks, of course. She thinks, all right. Here we go. Open the bag. There are the barber's tools. Looks down, and indeed there are a section of barber's tools inside.
I'd like to probe deeper.
Okay. She gets, let me just remind myself what save she gets.
I think it's wisdom.
Wisdom, yeah, wisdom feels right for the initial, then it's intelligence after that.
Yeah.
So it's
Where are my spells? Hang on, I've got notes on what save everything.
We've done
has.
this enough times that I should
Give me a
just remember
sec.
it.
No, it's
What time
alright.
of night is it?
Wisdom. It is late evening, like about 10 o'clock.
Okay. Bit late for a barber to be arriving then.
It's wisdom. I mean, but he did say she was coming.
True.
You try and force in, and she frowns and pushes you out.
How does it feel like I could do anything about that? Or is it...
I mean, you need to be aware that she's doing it is the problem.
I mean,
I guess you've not. Yeah, they know that you're
I'm
doing
a spell.
something. So I guess you get a tingling.
I'm gonna do it because I don't trust anyone. -1. That's not one.
-1. Still, just manages to hold up against. They rolled high.
So I had 2 rounds left. That was 2 rounds. Can I recast?
I'm pretty sure you can recast. Although I'm pretty sure if they succeed the spell ends. So the spell breaks, and there you go. At that point, over the soldier goes, "All right, off you go." And the barber closes the bag, nods.
Do I suspect them? Like, do they
I mean,
look
roll an
like
insight check. Yeah, if you want.
Can I also?
You can roll an insight check, sure.
I'm gonna suddenly tides this because I'm so
Might as well.
nervous.
14 from me.
22.
Okay, you look her up and down.
6, yeah.
Like she's got whole. She's just closing up the barber's bag, stepping up. It's a halfling woman, blonde hair and ringlets, blue eyes, one mole. There's a mole under her lip. She's wearing a white barber's coat, you know, the type that button up solidly. She's got the bag is quite similar to a doctor's bag. She opens the door,
Yeah.
steps in.
Wait.
Well, no. If I've got any doubt, I want to get in the way. Do I doubt her?
I mean, with the insight check, nothing comes up. But that description, if that description is pinging up something
I
for
don't
you as a
remember
player,
anything, so please help
then
me
that's
out as a
something to
player,
do.
guys. If something is pinging
At
up.
the
Say it
point-
again and let me check my
Yeah.
notes. I don't remember
As you are thinking about this, though,
I mean, I would like to be caught up as a player.
no, this is something you need to work out.
Right, say the description again. Sorry, I was not.
You went too fast with the description. I did not.
Okay,
get
so
all
the
of it.
description,
Please
as I
help
said,
me.
is she's a blonde halfling with blonde hair and ringlets, blue eyes, a mole under one lip, wearing a white barber's coat, the type that buttons up on one side, and she's got a leather bag similar to a doctor's bag full of barber's tools. She steps up and goes through. There's nothing about her demeanour that indicates she's anything other than a barber.
She's definitely not the scalpel, is she?
You've met the scalper. She is a human woman.
I thought she had dark hair as well.
Yeah.
That sounded a bit like the description you gave of one of the heads on the wall.
At this point, you hear a ringing sound ding, 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 as a member of the National Guard runs in. All hands! All hands! He says to the guards.
Okay, this is a coincidence. I'm going in the house.
On the door. Shit. The militia, they're forming a mob at the corn exchange. They was trying to arrest the merchants for hoarding.
Oh, what about
The guards go,
the
fuck.
thing? Where...
We need everyone we can. Come on! They swear and start breaking into a run, and you are left in an empty street.
We need to get in.
I'm going in the house.
I've done this, but I will note it to the others. I have just turned an egg timer.
Okay.
So you look at you. So you go up and you turn on the pull on the door. The latch has been closed.
Message to that. Warn him.
Savat. Oh, it's proofed. It's fucking proofed.
That's fuck. You need to open the door.
Yeah, you
Can you
still
break
haven't
this door
realised.
open?
Up to you. Do you want to break the door open?
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Okay.
read my
How do you want to break the door
notes.
open?
I fucking kick it.
Okay, give me an
No, I
athletics check.
do a thunder wave. Ah! Open the door.
Roll damage.
Hang on. I'm worried about this egg timer with finding dice for damage.
Are the windows upstairs?
It's a
There are
4
upstairs
damage.
windows.
I would like to cast fly and go up to the window.
You go up to the window. Through the third story window, you can see
Looking for a light on.
that there is indeed a light on. And sorry, I'm just finding thunderwave damage for you.
It's 4 damage, I checked.
Okay, 4 damage. It's enough that it cracks the door, but it's not enough to get through the latch. It needs more. Sorry, not quite enough damage. You can see Savat has run himself a bath. Has had a bath. Actually, no. You can see he's preparing a bath and is taken his shirt off and is sitting down. He's got a cup of tea next to him. The
Let
door
me know when
opens,
I've got another action.
And you see the barber enter in. You now have another action. Yeah.
I would like
Dimension door in between him and the barber.
Okay, you try and dimension door in,
Oh, now I know that I can't do that. I've never tried.
and suddenly it's like your sense just hits a solid brick wall.
I would like to kick the fucking door open.
Okay, give me an
Yeah,
athletics
can I
check.
assist Celestia?
Both of you give me an athletics checks, or one with advantage either way. Yeah, both. I've said.
It's 16 from me.
Okay, from
Okay.
above, you see the moment. So at the same moment that the door kicks in, and there's the heavy boom, Savat sort of tilts, suddenly pokes up, looks behind what's going on, and in the same moment, the barber reaches into the bag, pulls out a length of cheese wire on 2 handles, and wraps it round its throat. I think that means we're going to need to roll initiative, but that is something we can do after these, no doubt important, messages. And now for a word from our friends, the Dice Girls.
The Dice Girls may not know what we're doing, but we're sure having a lot of fun doing it.
Do my bagpipes have, like, attack damage? If I take out my bow, could I miss and hit triggers?
If you roll bad enough.
Have we been able to see the whole time?
You have dark vision! Surprise!
What ho, ugly creature?
Don't mind him.
Everyone's dying around me, but I can't hit anything!
Are you guys gonna be okay?
Honestly, I think the answer to that is always no.
Who are you?
We're just some riffraff.
Not anything particularly special. We are the Dice Girls.
Find us wherever you get your podcasts.
I rolled a 4, we're gonna die.
There's nothing so invigorating as a good shave, except perhaps listening to Flintlocks and Fireballs. And after I enjoy Flintlocks and Fireballs, I like to like, rate, share, and subscribe and tell my friends. Although on this occasion this may prove to be a closer shave than I'd bargained for. And welcome back. Okay, so, with that in mind, everyone except Leah, who is actually currently back at the apartment, because I realise I've completely forgotten about her during this whole time, so she's decided to turn
So
for
did we, it's fine.
Yes, decided to turn in for an early night. Everyone else, roll initiative.
He's still got mage armor up.
He does.
I rolled a 1.
Just
That
20.
is a 15.
Okay, so, so 1 from Scamp, dirty 20 from Corzin, and 15 from Celestia. Okay, gonna roll for those 2 as well. Okay, the barber rolled what they rolled, and that means okay. The start of combat
3, as though that makes a difference.
It does not for the purposes of this. Although I will roll. Oh, actually, no, it does. You go before Savat.
Great.
Yeah, who is currently
Who's great in a fight, I imagine.
not with his shirt off, no weapons on him, about to go into a bath,
Well,
and currently being
that's my
garroted.
point.
Yeah.
But mage armored at least.
Yes, but at least mage armored. However, okay, so the assassin goes first. They have now you watch through the window as they pull the garrote around Savat's neck. He chokes, unable to make a sound.
Is this an attack roll that I can do anything about?
It's not an so. The garrote was already on from their surprise round, but I will do another attack for them to see damage. So, it's not an attack roll that's low enough for you to do anything about, unfortunately.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll damage for the garrote. They get to apply the sneak attack damage, and Savat is also choking. Okay, so 1. And then let me just do that. Oh, let's knock these dice to the floor here. And then we're also going to apply sneak attack. Yep. Okay, so that takes a total of 5, 10,
Oh god.
20 points of damage as the garrote begins crushing his windpipe. Okay. And he's currently choking. The assassin has not yet noticed you outside the window or anything else, but hearing the door crack in, she is gonna holding the garrote shut. Reaches one hand. Actually, no, she's using both hands to hold the garrote, but the bag is by her side. I think that is all she's going to focus on this turn because she has... Yeah, no, she's stuck with the garrote for that action. All right, next up, Corzin.
Okay, can I get upstairs?
Yeah, I will say
where this is happening?
you'll have to double dash, but you can get up to where you can get up the stairs towards the one room with the light on. Most of the house is dark, so you you rush up and you get as far as the door. I'm going to say you are able to get the door open.
Okay, so the door isn't locked or anything. Good. Okay.
No, no, I didn't say it was, so it's not. She hasn't locked the door behind her.
Right.
So that's happened. So you pull open the door. You can now see this halfling assassin who does indeed, now that you've recognised it, look exactly like one of the decapitated heads.
Right. Okay.
Oh, the heads I didn't look at. I was never going to notice that.
Yeah. And who also rolled a natural 20 on their deception check, by the way, against your insights. Sorry. And yeah, they got theirs. So they have the garrote pulled tight around Savat, but now they very much notice you.
All right, I'm going to say, let him go.
She does not comply. Celestia.
I'm shocked. Can I get within 90 feet without dashing?
Without dashing. You can get halfway up the stairs and then roll me a perception check to see if you can see them.
Corzin's opened the door, hasn't he?
Corzin's opened the door, but...
7.
You run halfway up. You can't see them clearly from halfway up. You're going to need to dash up to get close enough to...
Is Corzin in the room?
Corzin is just outside the room. You can see... I'll say you can see the end of the open door.
How big's the room?
You don't know because you can't see it. You haven't got Scamp's eye vision. For those of you who have got Scamp's eye vision, the room is quite short. That is a... I'm just going to say there's a bathtub in here. There's a chair. So it is basically... It's a very narrow space. It's about 10 foot wide by 20 foot long. And there are windows on both the front and the back of the house.
I would like to cast confusion where I think she is because I'm in range.
Okay.
Pass Corzin into the room.
Okay, pass Corzin into the room is your best guess.
Yeah.
Confusion is an area of effect spell.
Yeah, it's 10 foot. 10 foot radius sphere.
Yeah, okay, you just need to be able to position it. All right.
I can chuck it into a room.
Yeah, you can just you can I'll say you can just about do it because the way we've run this is line of intention. Let me just check because whether it's line of sight or line of intention because that makes a difference.
Doesn't say line of sight. I did check.
Yeah. Because strictly speaking, you're kind of casting through a wall.
It says centered on a point you choose. I'm not casting through a wall. I'm casting through an open door.
You're casting through a floor because there's stair in the way. But yeah, you can see just enough of it. Okay.
If I can see the open door.
If you can see the open door, you can visualize the point beyond. It's just making sure that it's not, the wording is not line of sight.
It says a point you choose.
Point you choose. Okay. I will say that you can visualize where that is, so you can do it. Okay, so.
Just through the door, whether I get it on any of them is your choice.
It's a 10-foot radius sphere, so. Okay. I'm just going to ask you to roll. Your charisma is your casting stat, so I guess we'll make it although it's more to do with the spatial placing. Let's call it. Yeah, let's call it an intelligence check.
Okay. 1.
Oh no!
You get the wrong. No, it's radius. Fuck, no, it'll do the room. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Radius will hit it.
It's a bit stupidly placed.
Radius will do it because it's such a small room.
The ceiling is also really confused.
Yeah, the ceiling is
I was,
very
for the
confused.
record, going to do that regardless of how big the room was, just
fine.
as a fuck it move.
Fucking hell. That's a natural 19 on that wisdom saving throw. But... Actually, they haven't got... No, that's... but they rolled a natural 20 before when they broke your wisdom save. So, Scamp, you have a... worse than even odds chance of actually it might be an even odds chance of fucking with this, I think, if you want to, in the interest of fairness.
Yeah. Sod it, let's try it. Let's try a different D4. Don't trust that one.
Angry at the other one.
4. You can play again.
Yep. So, not not.
I'm
Okay,
using this one
that's
all
fine.
night.
Assassin is now confused. So we'll see how that goes. As is Savat.
Yeah, obviously. Oh, that was the issue, don't get me wrong.
Both of them sort of just like...
It was not a perfect move by any means, but it was the thing
Yeah.
that I thought to do.
Okay.
No, I mean, potentially very, very fair.
Okay, Assassin is still garrotting. That makes... so yeah, you're halfway up the stairs, Celestia. Scamp. You can see what's happening through the window.
I'm gonna see if I can open the window.
Okay, the window is latched from the inside, but it's also made of glass.
Alright, well.
It depends how you want to do it. Like, if you want to try and open it with your thieves' tools, it's an action, but I'll let you do a check.
Can I just firebolt it?
You can just firebolt through a glass window, that's fine.
I'm gonna firebolt the window.
Roll damage just in case.
Damage is lots these days. 15.
Yeah, you blast open the frame, shattering the glass. The remainder of the bolt goes into the half-run bath of water, and it just bursts into steam.
And I will quicken a command spell.
Okay.
I will tell the assassin to drop.
Okay. Do they get a save?
Yes.
Yeah,
They
they
do a
do.
wisdom save.
Okay. Okay, they release the garrote.
Excellent.
Okay. Garrote released. There is now deep cut red lines in Savat's throat, but he reaches forwards and pulls the... Well, does he pull the garrote from his throat? Let's find out.
He is confused. So, as I say,
Oh, no.
definitely not a tactically perfect move, but it did stop everything from happening, and that's sort of all I thought
Yep.
about.
Yeah.
Gave you guys too many clues. All right.
No, we're just
Yeah, no.
suspicious.
You're just suspicious. No,
Yeah.
it's fine. All right, so...
And then,
as soon as
then
Savat
a
wanted
riot
us-
started happening.
yeah,
As soon as Walk Me Home was a thing,
yeah.
like...
Yeah,
That's fine.
And then the barber arrives at the same time as the alarm. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's super suspicious. Savat paws
So
ineffectually
to stay the night anyway.
at the assassin, who kind of pulls out of the way. So that was not successful. Top of the round. Let's see what the assassin does. The assassin acts normally this turn.
For fuck's sake.
no.
That's so irritating.
Reaches into
But they
the...
drop.
Yeah, they drop the garrote.
And then they enter. That's the end of their turn. That's what the spell does.
Oh shit! It makes you waste a turn. I forgot
It does.
about that. Well, in which case,
I'm not sure if you... I think you just waste the first one, don't you? Or am I going mad?
No,
I don't
it
No,
know.
it drops
forces
whatever
you
it's
to
holding
waste
and then
an
ends
action.
its turn.
yeah, because it's a I
Oh,
forget how
command makes you
powerful
waste
this
a turn.
fucking spell is.
Yeah. I cast command.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That character. I hate that spell so much as a DM because it's no. I hate
He
it.
gave it to me.
I know. I hate it so. I did not. I hate that spell because it's just it's like it's kind of balanced for what it is, but it's one of those ones like Tasha's Hideous Laughter.
Yeah. I mean, you
like
used it to
it's-
throw me in a pit of spikes.
True. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, you
This
did
is
use it to
karma.
make us all
Yeah,
look at
this
clips
is karma.
of pain, so...
Yeah, no. There is. I'm just having a DM frustrating moment. Oh, fucking hell, command. All right. So that wastes her entire turn. Corzin.
It's your fault. We trust no one.
No.
Okay.
It's entirely fair. I'm frustrated. That's all.
I know.
Okay.
Coulson is going to bound across the room, get it so that he's square onto the assassin, but
Yeah.
not between Savat is not
end of
between
her
him.
turn. She makes her wisdom save. By the way.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
That's fine. He is going to whip out the blunderbuss with the slug shot, and also, as a bonus action, he is going to cast Ensnaring Strike. So if he hits with this...
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 25 to hit.
That hits, oddly enough. And I'll roll a
Okay,
strength
so-
save.
Yeah, that's the strength save is DC 13.
13. They rolled just low enough not to make 13. You actually blast
Okay,
them
right,
10
I'm going to
feet
describe
away.
what happens here. As Corzin levels the blunderbuss, the ambivalent octopus sort of swirls and spirals down the end of it. As he shoots out from it, it splays out all of its tentacles, each one grabbing an arm, a leg, a head, and pinning her to the floor. So, damage. Right, that's 11 plus, I think the spell itself does 1.
What was the spell again? Was it?
It's Ensnaring Strike.
Ensnaring Strike, sorry, I was looking at Grasping Vine, that's a different one.
While restrained by the spell, the target takes 1d6 piercing damage at the start of each of its turns. Okay, right,
cool.
fine.
So how much damage do you do the
that's
shot?
just it for now. That's 11 percussive damage. And they're restrained.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
By an ambivalent octopus.
Okay. Awesome. So that's...
I'm waiting to use that spell for so long.
Oh, it's a good one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so they are restrained, speed 0, attacking creatures have advantage against them, they disadvantage on their own attacks, and disadvantage on dex saves. Cool. Alright.
If I have any movement left, I'm going to interpose myself between them and Savat.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, you do. You've blasted them. I'm going to say you blast them into the bath, and then they're held
and
in
the
place
octopus is in the bath.
by the
Oh,
octopus.
Yeah.
As they're struggling
Drama.
against
Lovely.
functionally invisible to them restraints. All right. So, cool. All right. That's their turn. Solo assassin. Not much they can do. This is so Celestia.
I'm gonna come up the stairs.
Yeah.
For a start. I can work out. Can I see enough into the room to work out what has happened with everything?
Yes, you can actually.
Cool.
I'm going to say Savat has sort of just about come to their senses because I forgot to do them wisdom save as well.
I'm
Make it.
going to drop the confusion, which I don't think is an action of any kind. I think I can just do that,
You can just
can't
do
I?
that, yeah.
And then, I think I'm just going to double dash up and also put myself in between the assassin and Savat. I think that
you
might
have
be
enough-
my turn.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Okay.
Would it
How
be?
about the
I mean,
injured
I
No,
worked out.
you can get into the room, but like.
Oh no, I can't quite because I was 90 feet
Yeah.
away. Sorry, I'm going mad.
Well, no, you weren't. But you were just far enough that you can get into the room, but can't do the interpose. Although Corzin is already.
I'll
interposing.
just get in if that's
you
all
get
right.
into the room.
I'll dash and get as far as I can.
Yeah. Scamp, you are flying outside. You now have a clear view of everything else inside.
Do I still get a bonus action?
Oh, you do. Sorry, my apologies.
Could I do a healing word on Savat, please?
You do.
Ding. Done.
So right now, the assassin is at the back of the room, held in place in a bathtub.
Yeah. So Savat gets 6 hit points.
So that is near the window with.
Is Savat naked?
Just the upper half.
Okay.
You're just seeing flabby halfling belly.
Bless.
And Corzin is interposing in front of Savat, and Celestia, I'll say, is by Savat near the entrance.
I'm probably just outside the door
Yeah.
of where I was, really, if we take into account the double dash.
So yeah. Well, you're actually just inside the door because
cool.
you have longer feet, longer legs than Corzin. So Scamp.
I would like to fly into the room and put my arms under Savat's arms and pick him up and say, "Time to go, Mr. President," and take him out the window. I'm going to take him to the roof.
Yep, you do. You've got. There's an action to pick him up. Yeah, you easily get him just straight up to the roof above. I'm assuming, so you're out of line of sight.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. President is safe.
That's so dumb. I love it.
All right.
He's going to be so confused.
He needed to not be in that room anymore.
did.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah. Oh. Okay. Top of the round.
Does he do anything with his turn?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, he is going to pull the garrote off his throat. You can see that the garrote has gone in a fair way, and he sort of
Even with
tries
the
to
healing.
speak. even with the healing, it looks like the blade has cut a bit into some of his vocal folds.
Oof. Ow.
Yeah,
It
whatever's
took my
happening.
whole action to get him up there, didn't it?
Also, you healed him. Sorry, how many? You healed
Six
him.
hit
You healed
points.
6 hit points. He took 20.
Oh yeah, no, I was expecting it to
But
do
also,
everything. I just wanted to make sure you-
there's some damage there. So he's in a position. Okay, so that being the case, that pulls us up to top of the round. It's the assassin's go. Okay, assassin is grappled in place, restrained. 3 spellcasters.
And takes 6 damage.
Oh,
Or
it
does
takes 6 damage. Roll the damage.
Okay, in the interests of fair play, I misread what my damage was. It was 10, not 11.
Okay, well, I'll deduct 1 from whatever this is.
Okay. Okay, that's a further 4. So it's 3.
So 3 more damage. Cool. The ambivalent was restrained.
Just like the suckers
Tightens
digging in
down.
a little bit.
They reach into their coat, struggling against the restraints, and pull out a waxed match and a small round canister, strike the match against the fuse, and hurl it at the far side of the room.
Can they do that bound?
The ruling is
Oh,
restrained, not so they're restrained by the
So they're not
spell.
completely
So their speed is 0,
incapacitated,
but they're not completely
okay.
incapacitated, and you haven't managed to get like manacles behind their back or anything like that.
Cool.
So it's one of
They can
it's-
take stationary action.
Yes, they can take stationary actions. They're disadvantaged
No,
on attacks.
I'm not familiar with the spell. Yeah.
You have advantage on attacking them, but yeah, they hurl the bomb. So yeah, Celestia and Corzin both make dex saves, please. As
Okay.
the bomb takes care of the rest of the window. So that is now outside of
That's
the
a 14.
16.
14, 16. Okay, both of you all take half damage, which is 7 halved to 3, but Corzin, make a concentration check, please.
Okay. That's just con based, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Constitution save.
That's a 5, so it probably
Okay,
drops.
that's enough that the moment of pulling yourself out of the way, the octopus just manages to weaken enough for them to pull free. All right, they have some movement now. No other effects currently on them. They've fought their way off the confusion. So yeah, they're going to try and run, I think, under the circumstances. So they're going to try and just push past Celestia of the two. in the
Opportunity
way.
attack?
Yeah, you'll get an opportunity attack as they push, if they manage to push past Celestia. So, Celestia, if you want to try and block them, athletics check, please.
Of course. Oh, not good. That's a 7.
Yeah, that's an 8. They, small as they are, you just try
It's
and
a
block them.
slightly pathetic
They
fight.
sort of, they basically sort of
There are flappy
hip
hands
bump
happening.
you into the wall, but as they go past Corzin,
Right.
Do I get one?
you will get one as they get past you again. Yes, so you will both get an attack. I'm just doing.
Haven't they
Okay.
just pushed?
Sorry, I'm doing them in order,
Okay, I'm confused. Sorry.
just of who they leave their reach of first.
Dirty 20.
Okay, yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
Okay.
I'm assuming. Yeah, you've just got one of your sabers.
That would be with,
yeah, with the saber.
yeah. Sorry, yep. That is 10 slashing damage.
Okay, nice, and also Celestia.
Me with my rapier that I never
Yeah.
used. How exciting.
They bump you into. You draw your rapier. And,
15.
Is just enough to hit.
Okay.
They're fast,
Nice.
It's not loads of damage, but fuck it.
8.
but okay. You manage to get a good stab in as they hurl themselves out of the window. Okay, save. Yeah, like a natural 20 in the acrobatics check there to hit the floor. They still take a bit of damage because it's a fair fucking drop. But they are going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, they are going to dash and try and get down the street towards the nearest alleyway they can. Can they get to they can't quite get to an alleyway in time. They're on the run. Okay. Corzin.
All right. How far are they from me now?
They are. If you're assuming you run to the entry to the top of the to the now blasted open window area, they're probably 25 feet away. Well, allowing for Pythagoras, call it 35 feet.
All right. So it'd be just into disadvantage with the pistols, then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Still worth it for the amount of attacks I can get in with those. Okay, I'm going to, as a bonus action, cast Ensnaring Strike again.
Yep.
And attempt to kneecap them as they're going. Right. So, first one with disadvantage. That's a 15? No, that's a 14.
Doesn't hit.
Okay. Second one with disadvantage. That's a natural 1, but lucky. No, that's still doesn't hit. That's natural 3.
Okay, so the first shot smashes into the cobblestones. The second shot goes wide, bounces off just like there's a discarded bit. There's like a discarded pot. It pings off it, goes straight towards the halfling, who slips, rolls forwards, and with their own luck, it misses there. And just smashes into a window. No, okay.
I'm going to use my movement to get as close, keep as close to them as I can.
You'll need to, if you want to jump down, that's going to be an acrobatics check. Unless you want to take the... Okay, acrobatics check.
Okay, that is a 14.
Okay. That's enough that it lessens the distance. You're still falling a fair bit, so you take 4 points of damage, but you're not prone. You make it to the ground and run, I'll say, another 20 feet towards them.
Okay.
So you get to the ground. Yeah, you make a fair distance towards them. I'll say there's like a 15-foot gap between you.
All right.
Okay.
So I managed to keep relative pace.
Yeah, you're keeping relative pace with them. You basically shot them and dashed after them. Celestia.
So
You can see them in the street.
got out of the gate onto the street?
So there isn't so much a gate as they've blown up the wall and window, which is already destroyed of this second story floor, and run out of it, and jumped out of it onto the street and are running down the street.
Where do they look like they're heading to?
It looks like they're just trying to find the nearest alleyway they can. There's one that they could get to next turn.
Okay, I would like to... How far away am I, sorry?
You are, again, I'm going to say 35 feet because of Pythagoras.
Okay, that's good. So I'm going to start painting in the palm of my hand.
Okay.
And I can do a 20-foot cube. So I'm going to do a major image of some National Assembly guards coming out of the alleyway that they are planning to head into.
Nice.
Yeah.
And like pointing guns on them and saying, stand down.
Shit. Okay, she's not feeling much about her chances.
They say surrender or we'll shoot.
Lovely. Okay. Her chances don't look good for her. So we're going to see how that goes. Scamp, are you staying? Oh, sorry. Are you happy? You've got bonus action. Or are you happy staying?
I think
on the where you are.
She's 35 feet away. Yeah, that's actually fine for me. I'm going to stay where I am for now.
All right.
Yeah.
Scamp, you're on the roof with Savat.
Yeah, I'm gonna do something about that. I was gonna do something for the halfling, but no, so that's more important. I'm gonna get out my little eel statue.
Yeah.
And mutter the little words, whatever they are, that I never wrote down, and I really should have.
It's alright, you've...
Ooh, that's 9.
Oh, 9. Nice try. Okay. You heal another 9 points of damage. The wound starts to seal up. But there's an uncomfortable moment as a windpipe realigns itself. Still, though, he doesn't have... His voice is very hoarse as he tries
But it is there.
Yeah.
Okay.
He mostly coughs and doesn't say much. He seems to be busy trying to recover from...
I pat him on the shoulder.
Yeah.
And go and watch the assassin.
Savat is just going
Move
to...
slightly
Savat
further.
is going to try and hide behind a chimney and does...
Good.
At the very least, does a good job of, taking cover at the very least. And so you look around for a moment and then you look back and you can't tell where he is.
Oh
Although
dear.
you saw him going to hide there, so you hear him.
I didn't hear him fall off the roof, so I think he's probably fine.
Any other actions on your turn, Scamp?
Move some sorcery points around.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make sure I've got plenty of those.
All right. Top of the round, assassin. Seeing this, is going to reach into her jacket as she's running. Pull out another canister. This one marked with a white band and another matte. And is going to throw it down. This one, as it explodes with a loud bang, immediately produces a 10-foot radius cloud of smoke right in front of and on top of where the soldiers are. And she runs straight into it. She's going to do her best to try and go and duck between the soldiers' legs. I mean, she fails, but she doesn't
They're
fail.
not there.
They're
Yeah.
not there. So she ducks around and
They're
thinks she just
real in
managed to
everything
make
except being solid.
Yeah.
They're not solid.
it. And is going to hide. It's going to use dash and hide. Cool.
I think dash, hide, and throw things? We're doomed.
Oh no, sorry.
They're
No. Throw
gone.
things was action. So yeah, it's run, hide. Doesn't have the dash,
Yeah,
so
she
can't
can't
get the
dash
extra distance. But
Can't
she
be
is
too far.
She does break line of sight with all of you.
Is the smoke remaining, or is it going?
The smoke remains for for a full round because it's a smoke bomb.
What's her?
Yeah. So yeah, it's literally the ninja smoke bomb.
Fair.
Yeah. Okay.
Never leave home without it,
That is the
aspiring
assassin's
assassins.
turn. Corzin, you see a cloud of smoke and the outlines of National Assembly soldiers. Kind of. I mean, it's up to you whether they're reacting accordingly, Celestia, or they're still sort of shouting.
I mean,
You can instinctively control them, so they're up to you whether you want them to seem affected.
it's not my turn, so I can't drop them.
No, but you instinctively.
I guess I would have them wafting the smoke out of the way and
coughing
looking
and
for her
shaking around.
and
Yeah.
being.
They're
how you would.
retaining character.
Yeah,
Okay.
still in a beautiful 20-foot cube. Don't get
yeah.
me wrong, but
Can I try and run my way through and catch sight of her again?
Yes. If you run through the smoke, because it's smoke. Anyone hiding using it to assist cover has advantage to their stealth check, and you have disadvantage doing the perception check. But you totally, but you can make the check with a disadvantage.
Perception. Okay, disadvantage. Ooh, that is a 9.
It's getting in your lungs, it's starting to clear up. You look around, you can't see it. You use your movement to get all the way into the... Yeah, your movement takes you kind of into the middle of the smoke.
I'm going to maintain ensnaring strike.
Yeah.
Just in case I do see her.
Yeah, so you've still got it up, and if you hit it, you're on the snarer. Okay. That makes it Celestia's go.
Did I see where she ran? Like what direction?
Into the smoke, and then the smoke cloud is wide enough to cover the street, to
How
block. It's a 10-foot radius smoke cloud, and the street is about 15 foot wide. 15 to 20 foot wide. So it is enough to block off your immediate line of sight. You can try and look for her, but it's disadvantage on perception.
She can't have gone that far, can she? Because she's a halfling.
And she did drop the bomb, which meant that which means she can't have dashed.
I'm gonna cast Fairy Fire on the street.
Okay. Sure. All right. So that's a pretty wide blast from what I remember.
20 foot.
Yeah, 20-foot cube. Cool.
Yep.
So she gets
You
a
can just ask. You don't have to look through the book.
Oh yeah, I forget that you just have the little
I have
cards.
the card. You could just ask me.
Sorry about that. Cool. So that's a dex save from her, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I go wow. My guitar, the end glows up and goes. And
Yeah.
There's a big flash of light.
You. If it has hit, it will negate the disadvantage to perception checks to find her.
She glows. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Cool.
And I'm gonna try and get out the window and get closer.
Okay. You gonna jump down?
Yeah.
Roll me an acrobatics check.
Well, that's good actually. That is a 24.
24.
I do a roll. It's theatrical.
Nicely done. Okay. That's high enough that you don't even take any damage, I'll say. You do a roll and run onto the street. You get to about where Corzin, slightly in advance of where Corzin was before, so near the edge of the smoke. Scamp.
So I'm guessing they're probably in the smoke. So I will fly down to the ground. Let's do that first. Because I'm about to lose my concentration. And I will cast slow in the area I
just
think
blanket
they're in.
it.
It's a 40-foot cube.
Wisdom.
Yes.
Okay.
Wisdom save.
All right. That you get feedback on whether it's taken on things, don't you? Yeah. So you can tell that this is affecting someone.
Okay. And I'm purposely not affecting Corzin because I choose the creatures.
Thank you.
So yeah,
I made it work. Oh,
You
it's
can tell
Corzin.
that is affecting something. So it halves speed. So from memory, actually, just remind me if you've got it in front of you.
Yeah, half speed. You can take an action or a bonus action,
Cool, but not both. Thank you. All right.
and only one attack.
Yeah. Do it. Cool. So half and half. All right. At the end of the assassin's turn, the smoke clears. There is no immediate sign of them.
So they're not glowing.
They do not
That's a
appear to
shame.
be glowing. Corzin, you're kind of at a T-junction almost between an alleyway leading down one way off towards another street and a and the open street leading up ahead.
All right. Did I see anything that they had? Well, yeah. Did I see anything that they had on them, carrying on them, objects?
I'll say that.
I mean, they had the barber's bag.
Yeah, they're the barber's bag. The barber's bag is actually left behind because they got blasted away from it. So they've only got, which means that they only had the weapons which I decided were on them.
Fair enough. Okay.
Which is...
Doesn't matter. He is going to feverishly look around and try and track where they went.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Okay. Alright, that is a 19.
Look around. No sight of them that you can tell. Okay. Do you want to move at all?
Yes, so I'm at a T-junction currently.
Yep. There's an alleyway going one way, off
An
to
alleyway
the
with
left.
some weird
and some
purple lights
street.
in it.
Yeah. Which have mostly settled to the floor.
Some random objects are outlined.
Yeah. It's like a
lots
really
of glowing
hot... It's
things.
a really
It looks
glowing
really
barrel.
pretty, but it's not helpful.
What?
There's a cart which is currently just glowing with purpley foxfire.
Alright,
Pretty.
yeah, I'm gonna run up that way.
Okay. You're at the alley and get 25 feet up that. Celestia.
I will run after and see if I can spot them.
Cool. Roll me a perception check.
It's a 1.
There! Oh, no, that is the glowing barrel.
Oh.
Anything else on your turn?
Nah.
Okay. Scamp.
I will move to the middle of the T-junction.
Yep.
And I'm going to hold a command for when I see them, hoping they'll be within range.
Okay. Someone else will need to spot them.
Unless they do anything to break cover, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. Savat remains hidden. The assassin takes their turn. They are still slowed. Oh no, they actually get wisdom saves, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay. At the end of... What's your DC?
17.
Oh no, actually. No, they're still... Fucking hell. They're still slowed. They don't have proficiency in wisdom.
I've got a lot of charisma.
Nice.
So they're still slowed, but that's the end of their turn. You don't know where they are. Corzin?
Alright, I am going to continue up the alleyway I'm going, because that's the last best guess I had as to where they went.
Yep.
Can I make it to the other end of the alley?
You do, easily. It
Alright,
opens
can I
onto
see
another
them
street.
there?
Give me another perception check.
Okay, that is 21.
You look around. Up, down, around. No sign of them.
Damn it.
Okay. Celestia.
Struggling, eh? Can I run down the alleyway and drop a detect thoughts, please, and just see if I can hear any thoughts?
Okay, you run down the alleyway.
Is that it? Because it can be literally
Yeah.
detect thoughts.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can use it to find
Yeah.
people.
We'll
Yeah.
ping them up if they're within 30 feet of you.
I was going to shout that next turn because I just thought of it, so I'm
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
glad you did.
Ah,
Oh.
great minds.
So yeah, you... Okay.
Simple minds.
Within 30
Fools
feet.
seldom differ.
Okay. Yep, that will work. Alright. Just thinking where they are. Because of that slow effect. Yeah. You do sense as you run down the alleyway.
Yeah, it's 30 feet.
You actually sense...
Which again, you can ask me
Yeah,
rather
yeah,
than
yeah.
looking it up.
No. I was just thinking... I don't know why I looked at that. You did say. But it's just a distinct... because I already had it open on the page.
Habit. It happens.
Yeah. You cast it and then run. You actually feel it just as you start running towards the end of the alleyway. You can tell they are within 30 feet of you there.
Do I hear anything?
Yes. Yeah. When you can focus your mind on a creature, so focusing it on them, you can hear. Shit. All right. Let's just get out of here. We can try again later.
I beckon to the other two, but don't say anything.
Yeah.
And
You
keep
do not
running.
know where they are. You just know they are within 30 feet.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
No,
Yeah,
that's
no.
not a good option.
We have ruled that you can search for thoughts within 30 feet of you. That is the alternate use of it. Oh, that's weird. Sorry, no, you can't do it in the same way. Once you've detected the presence of a creature, you can read its thoughts, but that's a separate action.
Okay,
Doing a scan is one action, but you know that they're there, and that thought didn't really give you much.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, we know that they're getting out.
Yeah.
And they'll try again later.
Yeah. So, have that for free. Cool, yeah. So you signal they're somewhere around. Scamp.
Oh, there's such a huge part of my very tired brain that's going, they were in a 30-foot area, just fireball it. No!
I can't pretend I don't want that a little bit.
It's a
You're in the middle of that radius.
Yes.
Oh, but part of my brain still thinks it's a good idea. Okay. I guess I'm gonna look for them.
Okay, give me a perception check.
I'm gonna move up a bit and look, like, in the area I know that they must be now. Oh, and I've already tied things, so I can't, and I'm so bad at this.
You did, didn't you?
14.
Forgot to turn tides. 14, no sign of them. And
I don't actually think I could roll high enough unless it was a 20.
No.
And at the end of at the start of their round, Celestia, you feel the mind leave your radius.
Shit.
Oh,
Gonna give
something
everyone.
that moving's not breaking the cover.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I'm going to give you guys one last round of this, but see if you can find them. Corzin?
Alright, knowing that they're within the immediate vicinity, is there anywhere that looks specifically like a halfling could hide?
Either a perception check or an intelligence check.
It's going to be perception.
Cool.
Oh no, that's a 10.
Nothing down this alleyway.
God damn it.
Celestia?
I will also see if I can see them. No.
Okay.
7.
And Scamp.
Is there anything else I can do? It's just looking is not going to work. There's nothing else I can do than look. Balls. 15.
You look around. In the following round, you feel them shake off the slow effect and move. And at that point, they're able to move freely, much more quickly, and make their way on. And of course, you need to check back in on Savat, who is currently still hiding behind a.
That's exceedingly sensible.
I was so worried he was going to fall off the roof.
Yeah. No worries though. You head back up. His throat is not in a good state right now, healed as it
But
is
he's
from
stable,
the
isn't he?
damage, but is stable.
Okay.
And we're going to check on to what damage that has and hasn't suffered, and what consequences that will have next time. In the meantime, thank you all very much for listening. Thank you all very much for playing. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs, Fair Seas, and Natural 20s.
We now return to creeping dread. When tempers rise, some lost their heads. False faces come to cull the brave. Democracy has a close shave.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.